Hey guys. There we go. Okay, guys. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for joining. So there is some breaking news here in the Dominican Republic, especially in Sosua here. There have been a lot of people taken into custody and some people that were pulled aside at the casino last night. Now, I just want to back up a little bit, and I do want to let you guys know that this has nothing to do with tourism. So if you are a tourist here and you are here right now, you don't need to be afraid. You don't need to worry. You're not going to get picked up. This is not anything against tourists on the resorts. It's nothing against anyone. It all has to do with the ladies of the night. Now, this has happened before, many years ago, and I have spoken to a lot of people about this. Some people who were there at the casino last night. I just want to first off tell you guys what happened. So at around 1:30 in the morning, I'm going to read to you guys exactly what happened, okay? A friend of mine messaged me, and she's a woman, and she was really shocked. A lot of us are really shocked right now about what is happening. So she said, "Hey, Cerise, I'm with a friend right now, and he said that the casino last night at around 1:30 in the morning, the police went in and split the group and took out a bunch of people, patted down the foreigners, and told the group that if they are in Sosua for prostitution, they need to rethink that, and they're not going to tolerate prostitution in Sosua any longer." And they had people there for about an hour. So what they're doing is they are clamping down hard on prostitution here now. And it has a lot to do with what is happening with all of the changes that's happening all over the whole entire Dominican Republic. So there are three main places that a lot of people go to for pay to play. One of the places is right here in Sosua. Another place is the Philippines, and another place is Thailand. Now, it's not to say that everyone that comes here comes for the women. That would be ridiculous to say. So I don't know why they would target the casino. The casino is a place, though, that a lot of the ladies go to and a lot of the men go to find a woman at night. And usually by 1:30 in the morning, there are guys there that are looking for women. They're trying to close that down now. They're trying to prevent that now. What they're trying to do is clean up Sosua. Whether you agree with it or whether you don't, that's not really the question right now, because the question is, can they do that? Will they be successful at doing that? Well, they have been saying for many years now that they will be doing that. And they have been chasing down the women at night. They have been cornering the women, Haitian women and Dominican women, and they do it in the wee hours of the morning a lot of the times, but I have seen it happen during the daytime as well. The girls start running 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and they have targeted the women over and over again. And it's not helping, because women come from all around the Dominican Republic to come to Sosua. Even if they are professionals that live in Santo Domingo and they have a couple of bucks that they need to make, whether it's for school, whether it's for family, or whether it's for food, or even just for the finer things in life or for the bare essentials. A lot of those girls that will come here on the weekend aren't even really considered working girls. Some of them are considered weekend warriors. They come in, they dip in, and they leave again. But this is the reason why I think the Dominican Republic cannot get rid of it, because it will just move online. And these women will become more and more professionals on the apps. And it won't be front and center as it is right now on Pedro Clisante. You see, the thing is, right now, when you go on Pedro Clisante, the main street in Sosua, what happens is you will see ladies, a lot of ladies, and it's obvious after a certain hour that they are on the street and they are promoting themselves to the men that come here for what men have been coming here for almost ever. Okay. And so it's obvious. And so, yes, the women have been targeted. The women have been targeted. But now they're realizing that that's not working. They're like, this is not working. The women are going to continue to come and they're going to continue to risk themselves. They're going to come from Santiago, from Santo Domingo. They're going to come from Puerto Plata. They're going to come from even here in Sosua, no matter where they live. They know that there's money here. They know that the men come here, and the men know that the women are here too. It's like, how are you going to get rid of it? It's almost impossible. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get it off that main street of Pedro Clisante. And also, out of the casinos. I don't understand how that's going to work, because most of the money that does come into Sosua is because of the men that come here to enjoy the ladies, and the ladies that come here to enjoy the money from the men. Now, I understand that there's a lot of investors here now, and a lot of them are investing quite heavily in resorts and building up the beach and stuff of this nature. Now, I do want to remind you guys that this has happened before. I was told 5 or 10 years ago. It happens every 5 or 10 years. Now, I've been here for 7 years, and this is the first time that it has happened in the 7 years that I've been here. But I did hear of it happening about 10 years ago. And tourists were picked up on the street and they were detained in the police station. And not only men, women as well, Canadian women as well, were picked up. And if they didn't have their passport on them, they were detained. So, and it didn't have anything to do with the working girls. It just had to do with putting a little bit of, power on the out of control tourism, I guess. And not only that, to try to get some people to get their residency. This and those were people who were here and weren't walking around with their passports. This is a little bit of a different situation, what happened last night at the casino. Some people were picked up. Well, the police went in and they put them aside in groups. They patted down the tourists. Now, of course, they were most likely patting them down to see if anyone has substances, to see if anyone has tools, to see if anyone is arrestable, if you get what I mean. Because if that person has any substances on them or has any tools on them, immediately they're getting taken to the police station. Now, most tourists that come here, they're not trying to get into all of that. Most of them, they're not trying to get into all that. They literally are here for the women. And so, most of them were let go after about being detained for an hour at the casino. And so now, my question is, why target the very people that are bringing in the money? Because they are looking at those tourists as people who are perpetuating the issue that they're trying to get rid of. So they're trying to get rid of the women. And they feel like the tourists that are here on the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and they're at the casinos are their target because they feel like those are the ones that are perpetuating the problem. And they are feeling like if they do that with the tourists that are coming here for the sex trade, then those tourists will go elsewhere. They're feeling like if those are the tourists that is being attracted here, then they don't want those tourists here. And they're willing to sacrifice that for the greater good of Sosua and the plans that they have for Sosua to be more family friendly and to be more, like, I would say, Americanized. But when we look at that, let's really think about it. Because if they are trying to make it more like Miami or something of this nature, um, there's prostitution everywhere, everywhere, you know? And so that's pretty much what they're trying to do. They're trying to minimize it. I don't think this is going to be a daily occurrence. I don't think it's going to be a weekly occurrence. It may be a monthly, a bi-monthly. It may be happening right now just in low season. I doubt that they will do this in high season. I do believe it has a lot to do with what's going on with all the construction here. Now, let's look at also just the ladies in general. The ladies, most of them are moving online anyway. Most of them are on Tinder, and it is actually a safer venue for the dudes that come here because they don't have to come and get on Pedro Clasante to find a woman. They just need to go on Tinder first, Bumble, all those apps, and there they will find women, and they can come here and just schedule women in. It's never going to stop. It is the oldest profession in the world, and there are women out there that are indulging in it. Now, I just kind of want to look at some of these comments right here. Oh, there's a lot of comments. All right. I'm going to need to get my glasses. Give me 1 second, guys. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. Okay, guys. Just going to take a little sip of water right here. Oh, I'm so thirsty. Okay, let me see what some of these comments say, and then I'm going to respond to the comments, okay? Rich's method. She's going out drunk. If I had bet on this live, I would be XYZ dollars richer. She's going out drunk. Who is? Rich's method. What are you talking about, Rich's method? She's out getting drunk. If I bet on this live, it would be XYZ. What are you talking about? Are you talking about me going out getting drunk? I'm in my apartment. Every Saturday I'm home working on content, and I only go out 2 days a week. Thank you very much. And yes, I do enjoy myself when I go out 2 days a week. Rich's method. I don't know what you're talking about. And no, you just lost a bet, so you're not going to be any richer. Roger Leon. Good afternoon, Roger. Anthony Henderson. Hello, Anthony. They pulled a Plata restaurant pull up, grabbed, I'm not reading that. Star IVAs, not planning on moving there. At least the women there are, okay, let me just see. Garnett, this is all about the mayor closing other businesses so he can open his after the local made many complaint. Interesting. So he wants, oh, interesting. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Hey, Paolo, hello. I'm from Canada. Genocide, they can slow it down, but they can never stop it. That's right, I agree. Boycott classicos. Club 59, okay, same as Las Vegas. Okay, I'm just looking here. You guys look like you're talking amongst yourself. It's illegal, but tolerate it. That's right, fresh produce. Now, if they want to arrest people, they actually can, and you would be clearly breaking the law. That's 100% right. And Richard's method says family tours spend more money. That part is true. Look at Punta Cana. Okay, this is high season for black labor workers from the USA. Pinky, I don't tell my friend I'm moving. Okay, I'm going to get to the bottom. It's not illegal. Prostitution is not legal here. It's not legal. Prostitution is definitely not legal. It is illegal, but it's tolerated, as someone had already said in the comments. You guys just need to Google it. It's just something that's always been tolerated. And women get arrested for prostituting, for the avails, living off the avails. They get picked up and they get put in jail. And they have to pay their way out, and they definitely do get in trouble. Now, I want to say this. I don't believe it's going to happen. I just believe that, they're going to make different different ways to make it happen. Like I said, Bumble, the guys will come here and it'll just be a little bit more classier. Very interesting when someone mentioned that they're busting the casino because soon Classicos is opening. Now, I don't, that sounds great, right? In theory, but in practice, it doesn't, because that just terrifies tourists, period. And why would they go closer to the flames? Classicos is right on Pedro Clasante. I heard there were like 19 pickup trucks, police just going right up like sharks on Pedro Clasante. And I doubt that they are going to just, not go into Classicos. Now, it is quite possible that, and I doubt that Willie would want this to happen just before he opens. He's about to open in a week and a half, and I doubt that he would want this type of controversy just before he opens up. I do believe this comes from the higher ups. I believe that this is just something that's happening because of the beach and a lot of other things that are happening here in Sosua, with a lot of investors coming in, and they are investing in a lot of projects, especially Puerto Plata, and Sosua is the beach town. You got people who are families that are coming in here now, and a lot of them don't want to move to the gated communities any longer, because a lot of families cannot afford the gated communities. Not all, but many. Many of them cannot afford the United States. Many of them cannot afford Canada, but they still want to move here, and they're like, whoa, like the gated communities are just as expensive as Canada. The gated communities are, really getting expensive, even just the electricity every month as well. So overall, there is going to be a lot that's going on, but you cannot stop prostitution. You can get to a point where you're hiding it 100%, and where you are kind of minimizing the visual aspect of it. But these ladies are beautiful ladies. These Dominican women and Haitian women are gorgeous, and they know it, and so does the rest of the world know it. And the men, although they may say, "Oh, I'm not going to Sosua, I'm not going there," they will just learn how to be more discreet. Hold on one second. My little puppy has her head around something. So yeah, actually I don't even need that because it's not like I'm hearing any of you guys there. Cerise, you've been there for years. I've been for 14 before B equals for real Cerise. Be real Cerise? Be for real Cerise. We know you live there, but you keep it real. I do try to keep it real. Yes, Pinky, he does own a lot of stuff. Time to take American dollars away from DR. You see, a lot of people have been talking about taking the American dollars from the DR, but it doesn't happen that way, and it doesn't happen that easily. What happens is people just start getting smarter. I have a lot of cousins in Toronto, and I come from the hood in Toronto. I come from a rough neighborhood in Toronto, and I know a lot of people who have been incarcerated. And I hear a lot of times from people who have been incarcerated, when they are in jail, they don't think about how they can change things in their life. They think how they could have done the crime differently, and I think, and I'm not saying that coming and being with these women should be a crime at all. I believe in a woman being able to do what she wants to do with her body. I do. In Canada, I do as well. And United States, if people can go out and buy substances, even alcohol, and, destroy their lives with booze, then why can't a woman get a little bit of money in this country where abortion is illegal and there is no welfare system? There is no federal welfare system. It's not like they get checks every single month from the government, and the government gives them money for diapers. So of course these beautiful women, they're going to look for ways around poverty. And now they're stuck between a rock and a hard spot. That's never going to stop. As long as the government is not dipping in the pockets where they're getting money from the tourism, then prostitution will always exist. You see, they're spending money on infrastructure, which I get and I understand. When I was in Canada, I never wore flat shoes. I always wore heels. I love heels. And here, I rarely wear heels, high heels. I wore high heels the other day out for dinner with a couple of friends, and my foot is hurting me for the last 2 days because, of course, my feet aren't used to it. And I don't wear heels. Why? Because the streets are so bad that I could trip and fall. Like there's not enough solid ground that I can walk a long distance in heels. You know what I'm saying? So yes, infrastructure, even just something that simple, which just seems really benign or just really silly, even something that simple needs to be changed. So I understand why they're taking the tax dollars and putting into infrastructure. But you don't hail up all of the same people that's bringing in money and threaten them because they're coming somewhere where people are selling their bodies because there is no welfare system. First, fix the welfare system. Fix the people in general. Give the people running water. Give the people hot water. Give the people food. Food banks. The littlest things. Help the people. Don't hurt the tourists. And this really bothers me because not just because I'm in business here. Because yes, I help people find apartments. Yes, I help people get real estate, but I don't make money on all of that. I'm a writer. I'm a writer and I'm an influencer. I give people courses. I teach courses online. And I also have a soul coaching business. I'm a soul coach. I talk to people, a life coach. That is where my bread and butter is. But I find people apartments here. But do you think I'm getting rich off that? No. I call myself the queen of budget. I get people budget apartments for $400 a month, $300 a month in these areas where I live because I want to help the locals as best as I can as well, not just gated communities. So when I look at this type of situation, this is backwards to me. And I rarely talk negatively about where I live because I live where I love and I love where I live. And that is the truth. But I don't want to see people who I'm promoting this country to come here and be afraid that they're going to get arrested because they're coming here to enjoy the beautiful ladies, and the beautiful ladies that they are enjoying are selling their bodies because they don't have a welfare system. A lot of these ladies don't have anything. A lot of them have to work. Now, I'm not upholding prostitution because most of the Dominican women that I chill with are not prostitutes. None of the women that I chill with are prostitutes. The women that I chill with that are Dominican are bankers, they are real estate agents, they're teachers, they are people who have education and they are doing that for themselves. And they would not even be caught dead on Pedro Clisante. And when I go out with them, I'm meeting them in places where it's like Hispaniola restaurant or Margot restaurant. Like it's not even on Pedro Clisante. They don't even want to go to the Fusion sushi restaurant. They always say to me, no, I'll meet you at Margot restaurant, or Hispaniola or Puerto Plata. Or Cabarete. They're cool with Cabarete. But they don't even want to be caught dead on Pedro Clisante. So yes, they're cleaning Pedro Clisante up because it is one of the main streets, one of the main money makers, the main vein in El Bate, the tourist sector. And that's what they're going to be doing. Now, I do feel like that it will be put somewhere else. Many years ago, there was a gentleman named David who used to own Sosua City Lights. Maybe he still does. And he planned a place all the way up at the top near where the casino is. There is a bar up there since it has closed down since then. But it was open and running for a long time. It had a pool in the front. It had a pool in the back. Wonderful bar. As a matter of fact, some of you may even remember when Taylor Made Dreams, Russell, was having his baby. I held a baby shower there for him. We had a baby shower and it was a really nice venue. They had like pool tables. And in front of each pool table was a massive television. It was a very beautiful concept. And it was not tiny. It was a whole entire sports complex type of thing. This guy knew that this situation was going to be happening soon. If you are in a certain private venue, they can't arrest you at all. There was a girl, I'm going to tell you guys a little story time. Now, there's this girl, she asked me to go out with her. She's a white girl from Canada. She asked me to go out with her and meet her up for a couple of drinks and a bite to eat. So I met her on Pedro Clisante. We were in a restaurant. This girl was trifling, straight up. She was not right for what she did, but I didn't see the whole situation. So myself, I was sitting there with a few other people, and this Canadian girl, she starts looking at some other foreigner who's married to a Dominican woman. And she starts saying, is that so-and-so? Is that so-and-so? Now, I didn't know who so-and-so was. And I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. And she's like, that's so-and-so. I'm going to go and confront him. And I was like, well, whatever. I don't confront people. I'm in my 50s. I'm a grandmother. I'm 53. I don't have time to be confronting people. You know what I'm saying? Come on, we got to grow up. She jumped up off her stool. She should have kept her ass in her seat and never mind confronting people. But some people just got to show up and they show off. And she got up and she walked over to this guy thinking she's going to do something. And apparently she hit him. Now, I didn't see the hit because I didn't even want to witness it. What I don't see is none of my business. You know what I mean? So I didn't see the hit, but then I did hear the commotion, and I looked over, and he called the police immediately. The police showed up, but they could not arrest her because she was in a private venue, and that private venue didn't tell her to leave. They just said, you can't arrest her in this private venue. Once she steps foot on the street, she could be arrested. So the police stuck around for a little while. They asked me questions, and I said, I don't even know what's going on, because you can get caught up in stuff. The people who she hit, the guy was a foreigner, a white dude, and he's married to a Dominican woman who is a lawyer. So here I am still sitting at the bar, and she takes off across the street and hides in another venue because the police left, right? And she took off across the street. She was parked on Pedro Clasante. She was afraid to go home because this guy who she got into this entanglement knows where she lives. So here I am, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, this is crazy. I'm gonna go home now. I only go outside twice a week. I'm always at home, when I go out, I like to enjoy myself. This was not a day that I was enjoying myself, and I never hang out with that girl. But I'm sitting there, and that dude, he's an older man, so she had no business disrespecting him like that, in my opinion. He shows up, and he comes up in front of me with his wife and his son. His son's about 18 years old, maybe 20 something, and they start taking photos of me. And I'm like, and I got up and I'm like, why are you taking photos of me? And they're like, you're guilty by association. And I said, oh yeah, please. I didn't even see anything. And they thought I was lying, but they were very angry. So that was something that I learned that day, that she could not be arrested in that venue. Now, the casino, is it government owned? I don't know. If it's government owned, then maybe that's why they were allowed to go into the casino and make those arrests. Now, in Willie's bar, I doubt that he would allow anybody of the tourists to go in there and make arrests. It's not allowed. Even the prostitutes, one day, I was standing outside on Pedro Clasante, outside of a wing joint, and the cops started to chase this girl up the street, and she ran into the wing joint, and they couldn't get her. They stood outside the wing joint, and they were angry, and they couldn't get in there to get her. So I'm thinking that this was on a Friday night, right? And they knew that there were a lot of tourists coming into town. They probably knew because of the airport and everything, whatever. It's July, so they targeted that place on a Friday night. Now, they knew that there were going to be a lot more tourists there on a Friday night. They patted down a lot of tourists. They made sure that they patted them down because what were they looking for? Again, they're looking for substances. They're looking for anything to arrest them. I don't think that this is going to happen often, but this is something to get the word out. And they said specifically, if you are here for prostitution, you may want to rethink your reasons for coming to the Dominican Republic. I don't know how they can stop prostitution. Canada can't stop it. On Yonge Street, they have prostitutes walking up and down Yonge Street, and my new little puppy is bothering Noche, and they can't stop that. It's the oldest profession in the world. So when we get to talking about all that and why they did it, and it all has to do with future investments. It all has to do with cleaning out the town. It all has to do with not being associated with being a country that is connected to prostitution. They don't have abortions here. A lot of things are illegal. Even Bob Marley is illegal here. When people smoke, they can get arrested. I made a video about a month ago, maybe, or a little over a month ago, on on, it's okay, Noche, Ben. Sorry, I gotta reprimand this little puppy. Lay down. You leave Noche alone. This puppy is like the size of my foot. She's so cute. Someone gave her to me. So anyway, now I forgot what I was saying, but I'm gonna take this opportunity to look at some of the comments. Rich's method said they could learn to stick with their men for protection and provision that they had those babies for, Cerise. There are less destructive options. Also destroys families. Welfare included is a problem. Welfare is a problem. I just enjoy you, Cerise. Thank you, Nicole. Freddie Rosario. Hi, how you doing? And Nicole, of course you do. Yes, guys, put the likes up there for me, please. So I'm going to talk about the welfare system. He bought city lights from Big Mama. Did he, Frankie Fun? I didn't know that. ¿Cuál es, Marianne? Este problema es en casino. Ayer, en la noche, policía toma gringos para prostitution. There's some hearts. Yes. Yes, there's some hearts. Thank you guys for liking this. To clarify, she could not be arrested as a foreigner in the private venue. Yes, Rich's method. She couldn't be arrested in a private venue. Immigration police could have detained her. Yes, if they got her, but the police left. Also, Politor could have arrested her. There is tourist police. Yes. How much time for fines or soliciting? So I made a video, and you guys, I'll link it in the description when I'm done here. There are some women, Corey says, there are some women there that enjoy that life just like anywhere else, but there are some women that do not want to be working in Sosua on the streets. That's so true. So let me see. Kenneth King. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? There's always government change involved. So yeah, welfare system is not great either. I don't think welfare system is great. And with welfare system, of course, they have to make the locals pay taxes. And a lot of the locals don't pay taxes at all, right? So where are they going to get this money from for welfare? And where will the locals get the money to pay taxes? Because in Canada, there is the welfare system. The welfare system is breaking the country. So Rich's method, I agree with you. Welfare is not the answer, but there are some people who desperately do need welfare. And some of the women that go on the streets don't even have kids. So yes, I do agree. Some women, they just want a fast lifestyle. They want to take stuff up their nose. They want those substances. They just want to go have fun. And those are the ones that are, probably the target. But then you do have some women who are like, oh my gosh, they are in law school. They come down here with a friend. I've heard it so many times with story time. And a woman messaged me the other day and she asked me to not make the video about her story time because she got scared. But so I'm not going to get too much into it out of respect for her. But she is a lawyer and she lives in like Santiago, Santo Domingo type of place, right? And she has 2 children and she's struggling. And she came here one weekend and she went on Bumble before she came here and she set up a whole bunch of little meetings with different people. And so she became an online escort. And these guys, she said, were so sweet. They were so nice. And she says some people even message her when they're coming into town, and they'll be like, hey, you going to be around? I'm going to be in town. I have a villa I rented. I would love for you to come for the weekend, share some time with me. They bring gifts for her children and for her mom as well, even some medication. Her mom's not doing well. Her mom has diabetes, which is very common here. And like some guys will bring gifts for her and stuff. So she already is up on that classy kind of level. She's not a street walker, but she does do it for money to pay for her school because she's a lawyer, but she does it to also pay for her mom's medication. So there's a lot. And yeah, they are going to crack down. It's an embarrassing thing for the country when the women are robbing men, and when the women are treating tourists like garbage. You guys know, story time, I have a little piece of hair somewhere on my chin. But you guys know, Storytime has a lot of examples of how men come here and many of them get caught up. And sometimes they don't know how to get out of the web that they're in. I put out a story the other day about a woman, I believe it was Thursday, Storytime, about a woman that has 4 men. After she saw the comments in Storytime, a lot of the comments from all you guys, she messaged me and she's like, I'm going to get myself 2 more and then I'm going to get you to do another story time. And I was like, girl, like, what's the purpose of that? And she's like, because men don't realize no matter what, they can all fall victim to it. And women do too. All of us around the world, it doesn't matter where we are. Women also, I know a lot of Canadian women that get caught up with sanky-panky men that are, using them for brand new sneakers, for brand new cell phones, top of the line, the best brand new iPhone that they can get. And these Canadian women are caught up, and not only Canadian women, it's just that I know a lot more Canadian women, but American women as well. On Facebook, there is a whole entire group dedicated to Sankey Pankies. And I'm part of one of those groups. I only go in to look at the stories. I don't date guys here. I haven't dated in like 4 years because of that situation. Just being used, and you never, like, I just love being single because I don't want to date a young dude, first of all, but I also don't want to date a guy and then all of a sudden he starts telling me what he doesn't have and what he does need, because sometimes you do want to help, and I am that person that does want to help. I do want to see someone do very well, but I don't want to be the main source of their provisions, of giving them everything they need. So yeah, I do have a lot of Canadian friends who are out there and they are dating these men. One woman messaged me the other day and she's like, Cerise, do you know where I can go and get a motorcycle, a real cheap one for my boyfriend? And I was like, well, yeah, like go to Gaspar Hernandez, but like, why does he need a motorcycle? I thought he has one. Isn't he a motor concho? And she's like, well, I don't want him to be a motor concho any longer. And his motorcycle that he has right now, someone wants to buy it. And I just want a new motorcycle for us to ride together. And I'm like, well, that's going to be his motorcycle, So yeah, again, this group on Facebook is, it's called the Sankey Panky group. So if you're a woman and you're listening to this, on that group, so many times I have gone on that group and women share photos of men, the Sankey Pankies. A woman will share a photo of her man and she'll be like, I met this dude on the resort. Anyone know anything about him? And there are even Dominican women in the group that will be like, I know who he is. I'll tell you exactly what resort he works at. It's such a small island. And I'm like, whoa, I look at some of these stories and I'm like, But you're not allowed to talk about the stories, so I don't talk about any of those stories, and I don't really talk about Sankey Pankies a lot on my story time either. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't hear a lot of Sankey Panky stories from women that want me to share their stories. Like, I'll have a Canadian friend contact me and tell me what she went through, but I can't say that story because she's telling me in confidence, like a confidential conversation. And that group on Facebook as well has so many different stories, but every single story is the same. Like, every single story, these Sankey Pankies, these gold digging men, these gigolos. But when it comes to these guys, they are not working the streets. They are working the Facebook groups. They literally slip in everyone's Facebook. I used to put advertisement on Facebook, selling things on Facebook, right? Like real estate, apartments, and then I was selling some moissanite jewelry. There was a viewer of mine who was in South Africa, and he told me that he could help me with, some moissanite jewelry, and I could sell it. So I put an ad out. Now, I couldn't send it from here. He was going to sell it from South Africa, and he was going to kind of send it to people around the world. So I put an ad out on Facebook. Man, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, men from all around the Dominican Republic video calling me. I got so upset. I blocked so many numbers and cussed so many men. I had it. One guy, I answered the phone, and it was video call, and so I deleted it. I denied it, and then he called back through voice, and I'm like, "What's up?" Like, "Hola," and he's like, "Hola, baby." What do you mean, "Hola, baby"? Do you think I want you? Come on now. Look at you all the way out in the friggin' campo. You look at my advertisement on Facebook, and I'm trying to do some business, and you're trying to Sankey Panky me. What is this? And you know what it is? It is the desperate women that are going for these men. And these men think that they can just pick up half of these men are on death row, and they think they can just go get with any woman, because that is the impression that these women who are coming here give the men, the Sankey Panky men. A lot of these women look worse than the men's mothers. Some of these women, they're sitting at a bar and they're chilling out. They're all, drunk every single day of the week. And don't get me wrong, I like to go out and have drinks, but I also like to take care of myself. And yes, I have some weight to lose since menopause and everything and enjoying life. But there are some women, they just want these young men. This has become a rant now. I apologize, but I'm just keeping it real. And a lot of these women, they're out there buying these men's sneakers, cell phones, and, motorcycles, and, giving them money so they can go get drunk with their friends. And it is out of control. The Dominican men are also taking advantage of the women. So now, just to rewind selector and bring it right back to the prostitution, a lot of the tourist men are being taken advantage of. I don't agree with making it illegal. I don't agree with arresting the tourists. I think that is outlandish. You are biting the hand that feeds you. You're going into a casino. And I believe that the government owns the casino, and that's why they could go in there, because it's not a public venue. But that's scary. Why are you scaring tourists? Why are you doing that? That's unnecessary. If you can't control your own streets on Pedro Clasante, then what makes you think that trying to scare the tourists are going to change anything? That's not a logical plan. That is traumatizing. And a lot of people that were getting detained yesterday, many of them were just here with their boys having a really good time. enjoying a couple of juices, maybe even gambling, whatever it was. They're not here to, be mafiosos. They're not here to take from the country. They are actually giving to the country. The reason why investors are even coming and putting up 3 7-story buildings on Playa Sosua and 3 plazas because of the men that have come here for the women. Now, again, a lot of those women are not treating the tourists right. And a lot of these men are getting caught up and hurt and taken advantage of. A lot of them. And story time has a lot of those stories. And I had one guy say on my comments before, Cerise, all you do is you talk negative about the gringos and how they look like simps and all this. No, that's not true. That's not true. I am showing stories about how the men are getting taken advantage of and how men can change things up. Come here, enjoy yourself. Just like Flip Flop says, Gregory, he says, catch flights, not feelings, you know? And I really like that saying because a lot of guys come here and they catch feelings. And I would say that what you should do is come here and have a good time, but travel the island. You don't need to just come here and pay girls that are going to take advantage of you, say they love you in your face, and then kick you in your butt behind your back. And they have 10 other men out there. I don't make these story times to make men who are foreigners look like simps. Not at all. I love the guys that come here. I never met so many Americans before I came here. I'm Canadian. And in downtown Toronto, I met a lot of men from Buffalo during Caravana every year. But aside from that, a lot of American men don't use Toronto as a vacation destination. So I never really met a lot of American men in my time, again, only during Caravana. And anytime I met them, they were always dignified brothers. They were always cool. They have a juice or two. They enjoy the music and they help make Caravana what it was. And when I came here and I started to do business with American men, I'm like, wow, these are not guys who are on death row. These are not guys who are scrambling for dollars. These are guys that have good jobs, good businesses, good investment, common sense. They are guys that are coming here and they work hard and they just want to come with the guys and have a good time with the ladies. They're not meaning to do anything bad to the country. As a matter of fact, many of them are crime conscious. They want to know, like, is this wrong? Is that wrong? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I'm only talking about Americans because Canadians used to come a long time before the American men up in the mountains and everything. Canadian men used to come here and they did so many negative things. Okay, and this is not putting down the Canadian men. And this has nothing to do with white at all. I'm mixed with black and white and native. So I'm not trying to put down one color or one race or anything like that. Please don't misunderstand me. Right? But most Canadian men that were coming here way back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, before the new influx of the American men, a lot of those men were very nasty. And a lot of them went for 12-year-olds. Like there was this one guy, I don't know, he actually got deported and his name was Dave. I don't even know if he was Canadian, but I do know he was a dude and he used to have a channel here as well. He was one of the first vloggers. And I forget what his YouTube handle is, but he really was, nasty, nasty. Just the way you look at him, nasty. These guys that come here these days, they're not nasty. I see a lot of guys walking up and down Pedro Clasante. They look clean. They're enjoying their life. They smoke their cigars. They drink their brandy or whatever, and they're cool, calm, and collected. They're not coming here with knives and guns and fighting. This is not what's happening. So why are they being targeted? Because They are trying to get rid of the prostitution in the country, the officials, and they can't do it from the inside. So they're trying to do it from the outside in. They can't get rid of the women. The women are going to continue to come. They're always going to flood right here to Sosua. And just because that those detained the detainment last night happened at the casino, it doesn't mean that it is going to happen again, and it doesn't mean that it's going to stop the prostitution. It's just going to make those girls a lot smarter, and it's going to put the men into a more vulnerable position because the men are going to start going online. Yes, people say take away the dollars from the DR, start going other places. Well, are you going to really go that far to Thailand on a weekend trip? No. Maybe Jamaica, but Jamaica's not really known as a destination for pay to play. You know, a lot of the guys like the look of the Dominican women. They're very beautiful women. They take very good care of themselves. They look beautiful. They know how to treat a man. Man, I even learned a thing or two on how to be better to men. I definitely was one of those women that, was rough and tough and all that stuff. Like I never really. Let me see, Pinky. Most of the new perv videos seem to be in Punta Cana. My algorithm always has them because they're heavy. So interesting. Colombia. Marquise King says Colombia. Very good point. And Rich's Method says they were always in Punta Cana and everywhere else on the island, like it is worldwide. But yes, they will concentrate where the tourist dollars go. Yeah, the women will always come where there is money. Listen, when I was younger, and like I said, I come from the hood, right? I don't always talk about my private life, but I come from the hood. I come from a two-parent family. My mom and my dad, they did their best to raise their 5 children. My mom was a teacher assistant, and they offered her a townhouse in a place called Regent Park in downtown Toronto. She didn't know it was the hood. She moved all her kids in there, and we moved in there. But I loved it. We were raised with a lot of Jamaicans. My background's not Jamaican. My black side comes from Sierra Leone, Africa. We were slaves that were taken to the United States. A lot of people think that because my dad was a Rasta, he was Jamaican. He was not Jamaican. But I was raised around a lot of Jamaicans, so I do know a lot about the Jamaican culture, the Caribbean culture, and stuff of that nature. So I come from the hood. I made it out of the hood. But I have some friends that didn't. And Rich's Method, that brings me back to you talking about welfare, which I will get to again in a second. I'm just going to put a pin in that. But downtown Toronto, was a tourist area for like people from just all around the world, right? And that's where the prostitutes went and strolled. They're not going to go stroll in like Scarborough or Brampton, which are residential areas. They stroll where the business sector is. Now, I'm going to be very honest about myself. I was a young, beautiful young lady when I was very young. We're talking like 20s. I was fit. I was on the radio on a black urban radio station called Flow 93.5 at the time. And I met a lot of artists. And I was a soul coach on the radio. I was on the Morning Rush. It was like a morning show as on-air personality. And it was great. But I wasn't going to settle just for some man with just broke pocket, no car, just whatever. Now I would. I'm 53. Money doesn't define a man to me now. Let's get that real. I don't care how much a man makes now. He could be getting a pension, and if he's struggling, I will help uplift him emotionally, lovingly. But back in the day, I need to define that. I was just like a lot of the ladies are here, and that's why I kind of get it. I was only dating millionaires back in the day. I wasn't going for anyone that was struggling at all. I was on the radio, and I was meeting a lot of artists. I was meeting a lot of ballers, and I was meeting a lot of people that, I thought were going to help lift me up. And that never happened. That never happened. I mean, of course, a couple of guys bought me cars. They didn't buy me Jaguars and BMWs. They bought me, two different guys bought me, same, just happened to be the same car, Honda Accords, right? Honda Accords, reliable cars, you know, and I'm keeping it real with you guys right now because we're talking about the ladies and stuff like that. I never prostituted myself out. I never, you know, slept with men for gifts or anything of that nature ever in my life. I really was looking for a husband and, you know, but I was looking for that in all the wrong places. I thought these ballers were going to be loyal, but they weren't. I dated one guy who was, um, co-assistant for the Raptors one year. And I found out that he had 6 children with his wife living in North Carolina. There's North Carolina, South Carolina. I think that's what it was. North Carolina, you know? And I didn't, their Google was not so big back then. So I didn't Google him. I didn't know. I had a key to his place in Toronto. He would be getting off the plane and he would message me. This is way when Chris Bosh was on the team. And he would message me and say, hey, meet me at my place, you know? And I thought he was my boyfriend, you know, like I really did. So that was silly. Those are my silly days, you know, and I really thought that I was with this man that was a baller and we were going to live happily ever after, you know. So I was on both sides of the fence. I was one of those girls that thought I was going to, you know, gold dig, and it never worked out. And so when I talk to girls here about it, like the girl that I did the story about on Thursday, and I told her, stop gold digging. You're not going to get anything from these men. She's going to golf courses because she thinks that she's going to get a rich man at the golf course. Meanwhile, very wealthy men, they're not, some of them don't even golf. Some of them very wealthy men, they have real estate and everything. I mean, many of them on Pedro Clasante, you know, Sosua Ocean Village, many of them, they're not golfers. So now, again, I also want to say that there are some men out there who are very foolish and they put themselves into some circumstances because they're foolish with their money. And they come here and they get the most wildest women and they think this woman's going to love them, and they put themselves in a position with a wild woman. They know she does snow, they know she does all types of things, and they're good with it because she's beautiful. She does them really good in bed, and she's dangerous at the end of the day, you know. So I know I'm all over the place right now and I'm just giving you guys little tidbits of stuff, but I do want to just kind of backtrack a little bit and talk about the welfare system. You know, there is no welfare system here, and I don't believe that the welfare system will fix things either. Canada is very poor right now because of the healthcare system and the welfare system. But there are some people that do need it, and I do believe that starting a welfare system and looking at other systems, right? Starting a welfare system here, even if it's just a food bank, opening up food banks, you know, and helping people with just a little bit can help, and it can go a long way. Um, I just don't think that what they did last night is the answer to prostitution. I don't think that's the answer. And it just is going to take money out of the casino, and it's going to make people just want to go to private venues. And the guys aren't doing anything wrong. What are they, having sex on the floor? What are they doing? What did they do so wrong last night? What did they do? They saved their money to come on a vacation. They're not drug dealers. They're people that are working 9 to 5 jobs. They're coming here to enjoy the beautiful women. I was out for dinner the other day with 2 older people, and I love them both. Don't get me wrong. They're both Americans, both Jewish, a woman and a man. Sorry if you guys are going to watch this. I apologize, but I'm in the moment, and you guys know what I said at dinner time too. The guy said, The black men from America are ruining it for people here. That's what he said. So I consider myself a fair-skinned black woman. Okay, even though I'm 3 races, I was raised in a black culture. You know, I don't know anything about the white side of me, which is Scottish. I don't know anything about that culture. I don't know anything about the Mi'kmaq indigenous culture in Nova Scotia. I only know about my black culture, and most of my family were all different colors, okay, but we all consider ourselves black. So when anyone says that, wherever I'm at, I always stick up for my people, you know. And when I'm around white people that say that, they go, oh, like, here she goes. Here she goes. She's taking this personally. I'm not taking it personally. But that is very ignorant to say what he said. And I love him. And I know he's going to watch this video. He could be even watching it right now. I'm not going to say your name. But that really hurt me. And that's the reason why I spoke up like that at dinner time. And I told you straight up, no, the brothers coming here are putting money into the economy. Now, if you want to look at the white Frenchmen, then that's something different, because that is where some of them really treat the girls badly, nasty. And then the girl that was with us, the older woman that was with us, she agreed with me afterwards. She's like, yeah, actually, I have to agree. No one really likes the white Canadian, French Canadians here, the white men that, you know, can sometimes be nasty. And I do love a lot of the French Canadians too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Montreal is beautiful. So I'm sounding so stereotypical right now, and I'm sounding so ignorant myself. But all I'm saying is what I heard out at dinner just the other night, Wednesday night. And I was so pissed off. I was so hurt. I'm not American. I'm not a black man. But it tore my heart out that I was sitting with people that think that. And I thought, Cerise, where's your life? If this is who you call your friends. And it's not the first time that I've heard that. I've heard that many times. And it's always from white American men. And it's hurtful. It's hurtful. And it's unnecessary. Because the only reason why you are here is because of what's going on Pedro Clasante. Oh, the black men are raising the prices up. Men can't even get women any longer. I've heard that. Black men are raising prices up for women that are selling their bodies. Do those women not are they not worthy of getting a little bit more money? I don't know. I know the men come here for that money break. But I heard that it's getting really expensive anyway. This dude is on a pension that said this to me. He's on a pension. And he's like, oh, the brothers come here and, they pay top dollar for the girls and they're ruining it. So what do you want to do, dude? You think it's great for you to pay them low dollar? You think you can take them out for a free meal and then you're going to get a piece of ass? What are you talking about? You know? What are you talking about? The brothers have class. How dare you sit down and talk so badly about people? This is where the lines get crossed. And it's modern day racism, in my opinion. Prejudice, discrimination, whatever you want to call it. But this is a black country. And I was actually out to dinner with 2 white people, a guy and a woman, the woman in her 70s, the man in his late 60s, and this is the conversation that I'm having? And she's calling the women whores? Whore. Straight out whore. Well, the whores, and it's not funny. It is not frigging funny. It's disgraceful, and it lacks class. And as I'm sitting at the table with them, I'm thinking to myself, and of course I spoke up. Of course I spoke up. That's just my nature. But right away, I had to second guess myself. Is horror the right word? Maybe she's just using it because she's in her 70s. I took my cell phone as those two are talking, and I went on ChatGPT, and I'm like, is horror an okay word to call prostitutes? ChatGPT said no, it's crass. It's grossly stupid when someone uses that word, and I was right. And I'm like, here's this woman in her 70s calling people whores and thinks it's funny, but yet she has the audacity to sit around and say that the brothers that are coming here are ruining Pedro Clasante? No, no. Mm-mm. Maybe some things need to be regulated. Maybe some things do need to be regulated around the whole entire world. But I don't know if Thailand has that problem. I have a friend that just moved there the other day. He owned a business here. He's loving Thailand. I see his videos. He's not a vlogger, but I'm his Facebook friend, and I see his videos on Facebook, and I'm quite impressed. The prostitution there is just like going out and eating candy. Smoking weed there is like the same thing. And I'm like, wow, okay. And no one's talking badly about Thailand and, criminals and stuff of this nature. There's a classy way to handle things. There is. And I am not advocating for prostitution at all. I know that this is the only country in the whole entire world that has a Bible on the flag. I know that. My tattoo, even right here, says siempre con Dios, means always with God. I love God. I get it. I get spirituality. I get the Bible. My stepdad was a pastor. I was a Sunday school teacher at one point in my life after I had children and, got my businesses together and was no longer a gold digger myself. I've had many lives in this 53 years of this existence of mine. I went through many phases of life. But I will say this. How this situation is being handled right now is out of control. The same way as how the Haitians are being handled right now. And I don't talk a lot about politics here. I don't talk about the Haitians and the Dominicans. I'm in the Dominican Republic. I can't say how they deal with immigrants. I'm an immigrant, okay? And yes, I do know that a lot of Haitians come here illegally and undocumented. I do know that. But where I live, there's no Haitian crimes. And I live in the hood. I live straight across the water. And I'm not in a high crime neighborhood. And a lot of the Haitians are terrified for their life. They are literally refugees. That's what they are. In my country, we would call them refugees. They're killing each other over there in Haiti. And it has to do with history. It has to do with history. That's it. Help them. And the Dominican Republic is not the only place that should be helping them. It's hard for the Dominican Republic to help their own people. And so there is a two-edged sword when it comes to Haiti as well. The Haitians are coming here undocumented, and they're having a lot of children because abortion is not legal here. They're having a lot of children, and they're taking a lot of the Dominican jobs because they are willing to work for less money. They are willing to, the prostitutes as well, they're willing to work for less money because they have to. This is not something that they want to do. It's always a two-edged sword. And I know a lot of Haitians here. Right now where I'm sitting on my terrace, my building is what I consider a foreigner building because we have 5 apartments, and out of the 4 apartments, all foreigners live here. On my right hand side over there, It's a Dominican building, predominantly Dominican. Okay. On my left-hand side over there, it's a lot of Haitian squatters. No Dominican will live there. No foreigner will live there. I can look down over the balcony and I see rats this big. Okay, of course they don't come upstairs because I have a cat. I have a very vicious cat. She chases away tomcats and anything, geckos and cockroaches and everything. She takes very good care of me. But I look down there and I've seen rats, like literally this big, over my own balcony. Okay? And man, there's squatters out there. There's squatters. I've seen people sleeping on roofs. Sometimes they arrive on a weekend and they're here for a week and then they're gone again. I've seen Haitians really work really hard for their money as construction workers, and they work all week. Thursday is payday. You think they can make it home on a motor concho or on public transit? No. Mm-mm. Their employer has to drive them home. Otherwise, they're going to get arrested with all that money in their pocket that they got for the week's work. And it's not a lot of money. It's like $20 a day, 1,000 pesos a day. They're construction workers. They're working in flip-flops, no security glasses, no helmets. They're not even tied off on the roof. And they're building high places. Now, that's a little bit another two-edged sword, because their employer should definitely be giving them that stuff on site. You know, give them work boots. Give them helmet, construction hats. You know, give them goggles. That's it. But it's hard for them to do that because these guys sometimes just get plucked up off the street. And then what happens? The boots are gone. The construction hard hats are gone. The tools are gone. So the employers can't keep replacing these supplies either. It is not just about prostitution. So this is where I'm so confused as to why the men were targeted last night. And I don't speak out about the place that I live and the place that I love. I came here 7 years ago and I love it. I love the people. I love the energy. I love the Dominican people. I love the language. One time I said something Spanish on one of my story times. Mata. I called a woman Mata. And I said, that's tree. And somebody in the comments said, who told you that Mata is tree? And I was like, well, that's what it's called here. And the person's like, yeah, keep talking your country Spanish. The Dominican Spanish is different. And that's the Spanish that I learned. I learned Dominican Spanish. I know it's not proper Spanish, but that's what I learned. That's what I love. I loved it. I learned it on the streets from motor conchos. And some Dominicans even say to me, like, you sound like a motor concho when you talk your Spanish. And they laugh. It's funny. I've never really dove enough into learning Spanish on Duolingo. I bought the $100 and something a year course. I bought the course for $100 and something bucks. I think it was $150 or something. But I just rarely have time to go on. And I learn all my Spanish in the streets from the locals. And I live in the hood. But I do a lot of business with Dominicans. And when I speak to them, they understand me. They tell me I sound like a motor concho, but that's all right. I speak street Spanish, street Dominican Spanish. I live where I love and I love where I live, but this one thing confused me. Why go into a casino and get those men, detain them? They're not drug dealers. They're not having sex on the floor. They're simply smoking their cigars and drinking a cerveza. They're not fighting. They're not doing anything. They are simply coming for the women. And that is just something that they're coming here because it is so available. And that's why they're coming here. And it's close. They can go to Colombia. Yes, they can go to Colombia. I just saw in the comments Colombia, and that's true. But a lot of people don't want to go to Colombia. A lot of people really do like Sosua. So something has to be done to protect the tourists, these men that are being taken advantage of from some of these women. Absolutely. But you don't go and hurt the men. And that's where I'm like confused completely. The only reason why the real estate is booming is because a lot of these men are coming here to buy real estate. 90% of my clients, 90% of my clients are black men from America. The ones that come here and they want to rent apartments and they want to buy real estate. They already have real estate in the United States. They already have Airbnbs in the United States, many of them. You know, they already got it like that. In the United States of America, they're making their money. 90% of my clients are men that have good pensions, that have fought and are veterans for the United States. Boots on the ground, getting 100% disability. Many of my clients. And then I have some person that I'm out, I can't say his name, and I don't want to say white man because then I just sound so ignorant too, and I don't want to say that. But here he is saying the black men are ruining it here. What are you talking about? This is a black country, brother. What are you talking about? This is a black country. Do you not realize we are in the Caribbean? Black people were here before the Spanish. Look and shake your head where you are. Here you are on your pension and you can't afford it. You're not buying real estate like half of these brothers are. 2/3 of the brothers are. You're not going out to dinner and providing for most of these restaurants on Pedro Clasante like most of these brothers are. Not at all. What are you doing to help the economy here? You're taking girls out for dinner. You're on the dating site and you're trying to get some free sex. That's not classy. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. You're just doing it sly. And I love you, and I know you're going to watch this video, and I'm not saying your name. And I've never said this to you in this way, but you know I have said this to you many times before when you bring up this topic. And I'm very vocal about it. Whether you and I are talking about it alone, or like the other night when we were out to dinner and you were talking in front of another female, like you brought that up like it was really okay. And she rolls her eyes when I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I am black. I have to say it like that. And they look at me because they're white and they look at me like, oh, no, you're not, Cerise. But they don't know who raised me, where I came from, what my DNA is, just because I got a recessive gene and I'm fair skinned. Don't think that that's okay to say that the brothers from America are ruining Pedro Clasante. That's not true. The only reason why investors even come here to invest in Playa Sosua, and they're building 3 7-story buildings and 3 plazas and all these resorts and all of these gated communities, is because of the influx of the Americans, black or white. Americans are bringing their money here, you know? And so, yeah, it does bother me about what happened last night. It does bother me. And again, it has nothing to do with business for me because I don't make a lot of money on these rentals. I don't make a lot of money on rentals. And when it comes to real estate, you know how many people have ripped me off here in real estate? Do you know how many people I connect them with agents and they cut me out of the deal because I'm just the middleman, but I don't have a real estate license. but I'm a real estate advisor, and some of those real estate agents out there, not the ones that I work with, because I refuse to work with them, but some of them, they'll ask you, what do you want? And what will they do? They'll put you in an area you don't even know where you're buying. You don't even know the plumbing is awful. You don't even know you can't get the internet until you're actually there. You bought a piece of property. You can't get water from the ground. You can't put a well in. You have to bring a truck in every single time you need to get water in. And then what? Because you didn't go to a real estate advisor to tell you exactly what area you should get. Even if you do like that house, guess what? You can get a house somewhere else where you're going to have less problems. Turn around. Real estate advisors are useful. And that's what I am. Because I will tell you, no, don't buy there because the plumbing is horrible. You won't be able to get water from the ground, and the toilet stinks every single time you flush it. And then what do? They will cut me out of the deal. So that's the reason why I only deal with certain agents and the most reputable agents here. And I don't make a lot of money off real estate. And I'm being honest with you guys, really honest with you guys. I have my soul coaching business and I'm a writer. And YouTube pays me a little bit of money every month. YouTube pays me like $300 a month. I make these stories because I love you guys, and I talk like this because I love you guys. You know, YouTube they gave me like $500 2 months ago. And I was like, whoa, that was amazing. Like, I was like, wow, that's awesome. Who doesn't, I mean, that's free $500, you know? I was like, I should make some more videos, you know? And it was like really inspiring. But that's not, I don't make my money from this country at all. So I'm not speaking up right now because I'm afraid that the tourists are going to leave. That's not the reason why I'm speaking up. I'm speaking up because it's wrong. I'm speaking up because it's not cool to traumatize tourists and pull them aside. They're not screwing on those floors in the disco. They're not bringing those drugs in here. They don't have guns. They don't have knives. They're not fighting. They're coming for the beautiful women that are coming to the town to make money because there is no welfare system and there is no other way for them to make money. Most of them are on the streets because they want to be, and maybe they do drugs. But there are the very few women that are good women. Something has to be done, yes, to protect the tourists, to help the tourists not catch all these feelings and become simps and then, you know, come here and put themselves in danger because they're sleeping with women that couldn't care less about them. They're making wrong decisions because they're thinking with the old cliche, the bottom part. But at the end of the day, we really have to look at the reality of it, and it is not targeting tourists. That's wrong. That makes me want to move to Vietnam. That makes me want to pick up and go to Thailand. But I have 2 dogs here and a cat, and I don't know how that would work. I don't know how all that would work. And I don't want to uplift my life. I'm happy. Like I said, I live where I love, and I love where I live. But when I'm like this, when I wake up to messages on my WhatsApp, I didn't even go out last night. I'm rarely on Pedro Clasante at nighttime after 8 o'clock. Rarely. I go out twice a week. Usually it's Saturdays and Thursdays. That's where you will see me on the streets of Sosua. Usually. Sometimes you'll see me if I have a business meeting and I'm doing a consultation for someone that wants to relocate here or something like that. Or if I have to go pick up a package or something of that nature. Or I have to go get my braces adjusted, you know. Or if someone invites me out for dinner, you know, I'll go out. But aside from that, my planned days are Saturdays and Thursdays. Because Saturdays, I work on a lot of content from my other YouTube channels. I have a crime channel, I have an entertainment channel, I have a spiritual channel, and I like to do all my content on a Saturday and then put the videos out as I edit them throughout the week. And then since I have my makeup on and my hair done, I go out, and I'll go out like on Pedro Clasante or here in Charamicos, and I'll go and have a couple of drinks. you know? But just the other day, I was out and about here in Charamicos, and I don't know if I can even hang out at this colmado any longer because there's a dude. It was the weirdest thing. There's this dude. He like, you know, and we'll hang around all people, all walks of life. I will hang around people, all walks of life. But when I'm hanging around the brothers on Pedro Clasante, I'm always treated with love and respect and real deal, Holyfield business people. They come with money in their hand. They come with ideas. They come with class. They're not trash. But here in Charamicos, there are a few people that I'll hang out with sometimes. And they're not brothers. There's this one dude. He's an American. And he thought I wanted him. The guy does snow. I've never done snow in my life. You know? The guy smokes cigarettes like a chimney. And when he smokes the cigarette and he gets to the literal butt, he flicks the fire out with his fingers. And I don't know if he saves these butts. Ew. And then sometimes when he's sitting there, he goes, like, I don't even want to do it. It's so gross. So I'll be sitting there, you know, just the music I love at the Colmado. And I'm hanging around also my Dominican friends too, right? So we all hang together, right? So, you know, anyway, he'll hork. And he'll be like sitting right there. And I hold my breath when he horks because I just don't want to swallow. Because, you know, when someone horks, it's like spit coming up. And I go, and I hold my breath for like a couple of seconds because I'm afraid to swallow when he's spitting that out. I don't know why. It's just so silly. It's psychological. But that's how grossed out I am by him. That's how disgusted I am by him. And he sleeps with the street girls, not the prostitutes. I mean the homeless women who don't even bathe, and he sleeps with them. And he thought I wanted him the other day. Someone told me, oh, so-and-so thinks you want him. I'm like, oh, I got to rethink my life. I got to rethink my life. I'm kind to the guy. I'm nice to him, but I'm not a person that flirts. But I am definitely a person that will uplift you. If I see something awesome about you, I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to tell you that you smell good. I'm going to tell you that I recognize you got a haircut. I'm going to tell you that you look great that day. I'm going to tell you that I think you're smart. I'm going to really give you compliments because I love to uplift people. That's the soul coach in me. That's the real human in me. I like to look on the positive things. And this guy thought I was flirting with him. So I just want to put it out there right now. I am not a flirter. There's not one person in this world right now that I am into, except for maybe one guy. And he's a vlogger in the United States. And I just met him. And I respect him. But I couldn't even imagine myself laying down with him. Like, that's how I am right now in my life. Right? So I don't even know how I got there. But yeah, that's how I got there. That guy is like so nasty. He couldn't even put a candle up next to the brothers that come here that were at the casino last night. And I know for sure that any tourists at that casino, they were going for the music, they were going for the camaraderie and the women. They weren't going there for fights. They weren't going there for illegal activity. Of course, there is illegal activity going on everywhere all around the world at all times and stuff of that nature, but they weren't going there. And the least thing they probably ever expected was to be detained and patted down. You know, this is out of control. This is unacceptable. This is shocking, surprising, depressing, sickening, you know? Handle your women. Don't go manhandle the tourists. These tourists are innocent people. Innocent. You know? And again, it's not because I make a lot of money here either, because I don't make money off the Dominican Republic. I don't. I find apartments. Get this. I find apartments for people, and I used to have a finder's fee of $50. People that contact me for $400 apartments, they don't have that extra $50 most of the time to give me my finder's fee. So they'll say to me, how do you get paid, Cerise? And I'll tell them, oh, don't worry about it. The landlord takes care of me. Do you really think that the landlord is going to take money out of their pocket to give to me? And do you really think I'm going to take from a Dominican? Mm-mm. The landlord contacts me, and I only work with certain apartments. I only work with landlords that I know. When I first came here, I didn't. I would go on Facebook Marketplace and look for apartments for people and go do a whole bunch of videos everywhere and, stuff like that. But I don't do that any longer. I have a handful of landlords that I work with. They're all Dominican, and I send customers their way. They contact me when they have an available apartment, and they say, hey, I have this apartment. I'll say, send me some video and send me some photos. I don't even go video any longer. I used to, if you looked on my channel 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, I was running ragged all around Cabarete and Sosua and Puerto Plata. No one was paying me for my driver. No one was paying me for hardly anything. But it was positive for me because I got to know the areas very well, and that's what helped me become a good advisor. And that's why I do consultations. And I know when people want to come here, what area would be good for them, because I already traveled around all those areas, and I can get a sense of who you are. And I can be like, you like the beach? You might like this area, and that area. Oh, you like, to be around grocery stores, this and this and that. Oh, you don't mind being around the river? Oh, you don't mind being up in the hills? This is now where I have evolved into. But I love helping people find apartments, because these apartments aren't always gold. Some of them are gems, but not always. Some of them you got to fix up yourself, right? But I do make sure that the landlords put in hot water. And I do make sure that the landlords put in air conditioners. And I do make sure that the landlords put in furniture and dishes. And any of my clients going in there are going to get some of the best treatment here from the landlords. And my landlords respect me, and I respect them. And they know that they have to respect my clients. Number one. That's the people who are number one. You guys. And my clients become my friends. You guys come here and you're like, hey, Cerise, can you meet up with me? And that's another thing that I've also changed, because for the first few years coming here, everyone was inviting me out. And yeah, sure, they were buying me drinks, but I was drinking all the time. I gained 80 pounds, and that's not good. And I'm 53. That alcohol does things to the body, makes you gain weight. And not only that, I would be out at a bar, and don't get me wrong, I'll still go out and have drinks, right? I'm a Canadian, right? But I got that in my blood. But not all the time. I go out like twice a week, like I said. Today's Saturday. I don't think I'm gonna go out today, but I might go out. I'm not going to go to the Colmado. I'm going to start staying away from the Colmado because of that dude that thought I wanted him. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm running from that. I don't want to hang around guys any longer with that low type of mentality. I like chilling with the brothers on Pedro Clasante. I love chilling with the brothers on Pedro Clasante. I love being at a bar on Pedro Clasante and the brothers walk by and hail me up. And they're like, hey, Cerise, or Cerise Fairfax. That's what I love. That's why I do these videos. I don't do them for people who want to say that it's the brothers that are coming here ruining it. That's not true. That's not true at all. It's the only reason why I'm even here, right? Because I heard about Sosua. And when I got here and I went to Flip Flop, and I was staying at my first trip here, I was staying here in Sosua at Hispaniola. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like downtown Toronto, like all the brothers. That's what I stayed for, because I felt like I was at home. That was it. I didn't stay here because there was a whole bunch of Canadians. I didn't even know any of the Canadians until a good maybe 6 months after I was here. And I started to see a lot of Canadians, and I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of Canadians. And that's when I started to go to a lot of the bars. But before that, it was the brothers that I knew from my YouTube channel and everything. So yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm thinking if it's them, first it's the Haitians, which I can get. I don't like it, but I can get it. A lot of undocumented Haitians coming in, and then of course they'll work less and they'll take jobs from the some of the Dominicans. But those are menial jobs. Those are menial jobs. They're not taking jobs like lawyers and doctor jobs and stuff like that, you know? And not only that, a lot of the tourists love Haitians. Haitians speak many different languages. Many, if you don't know this, there's most of the Haitians here, they speak at least 3 languages. And they're really good at it. They speak English, Spanish, Creole, and then sometimes they speak French, sometimes they speak German. Like very intelligent people. And they help to make this country what it is. So that's a two-edged sword right there. You know, but this can't be happening. This is not a good look for the Dominican Republic. This is going to get outside of the Dominican Republic when you have police officers rolling up in a public place. People are not doing anything wrong. There was not a riot. People were enjoying their life, enjoying their vacation, spending their money, meeting people. A lot of camaraderie. It's a lot of love. A lot of love goes on here in Sosua. I love it for that reason. I feel safe in Sosua. When I walk these streets, doesn't matter when it is, I love being around people that I know are cool, calm, and collected. There's no fights going on. As a matter of fact, I see in Canada, I seen a lot more fights than I do here, in downtown streets and stuff like that. I don't see that here. There's grown folks here. Grown folks. They have their jobs. They have their passports. They save up their money. They come to make love to their own, or have sex, whatever, with their own people. They're not coming to exploit anyone. They're not. Just my opinion. And I know that a lot of you guys are like, oh no, the girls need to leave. Some of them maybe, the ones that are, out just to kind of hurt any tourist. Yeah, but that takes regulation. Regulation. It doesn't take going inside like hooligans and going into a casino where there's innocent tourists and you're patting them down and you better rethink your vacation if you're coming here for prostitution. Right? Well, you better rethink your government. Straight up. If you think that us foreigners that are coming here to enjoy our life here want to be treated in that manner, So, yeah. And some people are going to be like, oh, yeah, well, it's about time because the brothers this, the brothers that, the brothers this, and the brothers what? What are they doing? They're buying property. They're renting apartments. They're bringing down gifts. Yeah, of course, there's going to be that one dude out of every 20 that is, crass. Of course. But when you see the brothers walking down the street, down Pedro Clasante, going to the beach, they're buying their meals. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. They're buying big fishes. They're buying drinks. They're supporting the local businesses. And they are enjoying life. They look clean. I can't express it as much than just saying that, they're not nasty. American men. They smell good. They look good. They come down to spend money. They laugh. There's always some joyfulness going on. They're not like demeaning the streets at all. Not at all. Everyone is here getting along. And I'm going to the brothers, and I keep saying the brothers only because of what that white dude said to me out at dinner the other day. And it's not only him. It's being said here a lot. And a lot of these white men that come here to have sex with the black women, Haitian women, Dominican women, are forgetting that this is a black country. They're forgetting where they actually live. This is like modern day colonization. And it's happening right in front of our eyes. And I'm like, whoa. So yeah, I'm not going to be upholding this. I'm not going to be thinking that this is cool. I'm not going to say the women have to go. The women are not so bad. I come from downtown Toronto. Those women wear high stiletto boots. Those women have mini skirts all the way up their butt. Those women are walking around and they're, they are like your old-fashioned pretty woman prostitutes. The women here, not so much. They look like they're on their way to the gym. They got some tights on. They have some flip-flops on. They have a nice purse. Their hair is done. Their makeup. They're not evil women. Yeah, they do some trifling things every now and again. You'll hear some things, especially on my story time. But they're young girls, and that's that. There are women who are living out in the countryside that, they don't come here, but they too, they may need things as well, Go out to the countryside. Go find some women here. Don't be afraid of what they did to the casino last night, because there's change coming. I hope they arrest the YouTuber who promote prostitution. They are not creating industry. Tony Fox brothers go to Sosua for the girls to look at. Small Sosua brothers made that town. Some of you guys are disagreeing with me, but thank you so much for the super chat, Ross Warrior. I really appreciate you. That's really kind of you. But let me see. You guys must be disagreeing with me. Hi, Clint. How you doing, brother? She was, who says that? Maglala? I was getting smashed left and right in the beginning? Smashed? What do you mean smashed? Like drunk? Drunk, you mean? Or do you mean smashed as in sex? Because if you mean drunk, then yes, I was going out all the time. And I was going out and socializing constantly. And it took a toll on me. I woke up some mornings crying to God. Literally crying with tears in my eyes, because that's not the life that my mother and my father and my God would ever want anyone to live. And I was socializing constantly here, and I had to stop that. I was getting up in the day, getting my work done, talking to my clients on the phone, and as a soul coach and everything. And then by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was out enjoying life on Pedro Clasante, and enjoying life and meeting a lot of good people, and that was half of the issue. And then I was like, man, I can't be doing this. I can't be doing this to myself, I couldn't respect myself any longer for doing that. And so yeah, you will see me out on the street at some bars every now and again now, twice a week. Well, once a week on Pedro Clasante. I don't, maybe once every 2 weeks, right? But I do go outside twice a week, and that is when I'm doing business and stuff like that. I was last Thursday out at Plan B, and I had a few drinks out there. They had happy hour. and I had one too many drinks, and it was great environment. I love the owner there. I love the people that patronize the place, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, Friday and Saturday, not last week, Thursday that just passed, but the week before that. So not Thursday it just passed, but the week before that. Man, I was down for 2 days. And I still got my work done, my writing done and my clients and everything, but I was like, no way. I can't do that. I don't feel good. So yeah, in the beginning when I first came here, if that's what you mean, getting smashed, like intoxicated, absolutely. And I would say most people do that are, here just having a good time. And they don't have to work like a full-time job, and they have their own business. A lot of people do that. But I had to put a stop to that, and I'm glad I did. I'll go out for a few glasses of wine, and when I do go out, of course, I'm going to have a bite to eat, and I am going to have a few drinks. I'm not just going to go out and have a coffee and drink a water, but I don't drink from home at all. I'm not a home drinker. I'm a social drinker when I do go out. Now, if you mean smashed, as in getting smashed in the bedroom, no. I'm celibate, involuntarily celibate. I'm not into any of that. I'm looking for one person, not even looking. If God blesses me with a real good dude, I would definitely enjoy having a companion. Go, rent a car with, and, throw my 2 dogs and my cat, get an Airbnb in Santo Domingo. And I look forward to that one day. And I pray on that. Just a nice foreign man, like a black American, that, well, I wouldn't turn away a white man. I just, like my attraction is my attraction, and I would like to go, have someone solid for me. That's what I would like. But yeah, guys, I think that we are about to enter a new era. I think we are about to enter a new phase of Sosua. Sosua goes through these phases. It always has been. But I don't think arresting people is the idea way of transformation and transitioning. No matter what we can agree on, no matter what we disagree on, I don't think that is the proper way of going about bringing change. You don't traumatize people. You don't create fear in people at all, especially the people who are bringing you the most money. I see half of these men that are expats here, that are older men, that are like, they sit at Central Bar or wherever, and, a whole group of them, and they go for happy hour, and they're so derogatory against women. And then they say the brothers are. So it's just so two-edged sword here, and I see a lot of it. And I'm sorry if I sound negative today, but I'm just, it is an angering thing. Let me see. You missed my point. This happened in the DR. It's not new. Yeah, this is not new. Rich's method is true. It should go beyond the Dominican Republic. Whoever was involved need to go to the media and expose what happened. If it was nothing illegal. Do you need to no, you don't need to cancel your trip, Shannon B. No. Yes, Cerise, you're right. Like I am about to do in October. I like to come, spend my money, enjoy my time, have a good vacation, and nothing else. Exactly. If the girls leave, it's over for Sosua. Well, it's over for the guys that come for the pay to play. But I do believe that it's going to happen still. They go to Colombia or Thailand. Colombia is an option. Thailand is not always an option for people who want to come from like Thursday to Saturday. And no, Shannon, Punta Cana is the exact same. It's all over. Rich's method. I have personally been in bars in Santo Domingo where police roll up with 2 to 3 trucks and haul off Dominicans, but left me alone because I was a tourist. They realize I'm not Haitian. Okay. Um, no need to panic or cancel any trips. Always tripping. You're right, 100%. MT says, but now I'm scared. I'm Canadian. No, MT places, don't be scared. Not at all. Have been coming to Santo Domingo, Puerto Plata, Santiago, Sosua since 2016. I come minimum 4 times a year. Not good. Met good people and good camaraderie. Yeah, no, keep on coming. Keep on coming. Tony, Sosua is more than the ladies. That's right, Tony Fox. Um, they know all of you are PD files. No. Who is this negative person? Um, anyway, Big J, in the process now of investing in property there. Yeah. Someone's message is held for review. Let me see. Sosua. Mm. No, we're agreeing with you. R star, thank you. You're agreeing with me. That means a lot. Carlos, do you think Sosua will be able to sustain without tourists? That's a great question. I'm really sensitive right now, guys. Ah, this is not about me. It's just I love where I live, and I live where I love, literally. And I've met so many good people here, just really good people. But I don't think Sosua will ever stop surviving. I think that it will continue to grow. I think a lot of the changes that are happening right now are actually going to be of a benefit. I do feel like these investments will help. The women aren't leaving. The men aren't going to stop coming. They would have to make this place. I mean, look how many beautiful women are here. Beautiful women bring men from anywhere around the world. Once men find out that there's this many beautiful women in one place, they flock. And it's so concentrated, they flock. Look at Brazil, look at Colombia, Thailand, I don't know, but I do know that the guys love Thailand. I don't know about the women there. I don't really see that the women are like, the same caliber of beauty as they are here. This is my tea. I just want to, this is going to be a shameless plug. This is not my mug that I sell, but there's my new business. It's called Cerise Loose, and it's for the hair, it's for the skin, and you can put it on curls, you can put it on dreads, you can put it on your beard, and it really is great for the skin. I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and I just touch my skin because it's so soft, it feels so great. So I packaged it up. It's manteca, it's called tallow, and I mix it with frankincense and myrrh resin. I put some rose hip in it, and I put some really good anti-aging products in it. I order everything from Amazon, and I get also the oil right here from the farm. And it's great. So my shameless plug. And what I'm drinking right here are leaves. It's tea that I made with leaves from the tree. It's cold tea, but it's mango leaves, moringa, guanabana, which is soursop. Yeah. And it's great. I don't know where I would be able to live my life like this anywhere else, so close to my family in Canada. So anyway, it will always grow here. It will always grow here, and the tourists will always come, because there'll just be different tourists that come for different reasons. Not all the guys that come here want the women. Some guys get annoyed by the women on Pedro Clisante. So many times guys will give me story times, and they want me to talk, like tell stories. Like I have a story time coming up in the next few weeks about a guy that comes here and he's tired of the women like feeling him up and, thinking just because he's on Pedro Closante, he's there for a woman. But he's not there for a woman. He comes literally because he has investments here, and he comes because he has a lot of friends here, Dominican friends as well. So, there are a lot of guys that don't want the women here. And there are a lot of guys that just want to come for the guys, the camaraderie. I love it. I love when I'm on Pedro Clasante and I see a group of men walking together and they're laughing and they're in their element, and some of them don't even know who I am. Like they don't even watch YouTube, and they're just walking and they're laughing and they're carrying on. It doesn't matter if they're a group of white men or a group of black men or mixed. They are just men enjoying their life. They're going to the beach. They're going to go get some drinks. They're sitting outside the cigar place. They're not even looking at the women. Women will walk by them. It'd be like, hola, amor. And they just go, literally, a head nod. Sometimes they just ignore her. These are sometimes married men just coming here to go to have fun with the brothers, to have fun with their brothers, like, their friends from time. And so I do believe that Sosua will always be a tourist attraction because of the climate, because of the beach. I think it's actually going to be even more of a tourist attraction with the changes that are happening and how Playa Sosua is going to look. Like right now, where I'm sitting, let me see if you guys can see the beach. So the beach is, well, you guys can't see the beach. The beach is like right there. You can kind of see the water right there. If you look real close, you see the water behind the trees. So, like the climate here is beautiful, and it's so close to the United States. And just the way the United States is going right now with everything, with the politics and so much change happening there, I do believe that more and more people are going to be looking outside of the United States to invest their money, but also still close enough to the United States. Like, I don't think they're going to go to Croatia or, Japan or anything like that. People like to invest close to where they live. So I think the changes will actually bring in more tourists. I do believe that, but I just don't believe in what they did last night, targeting tourists. That's where I'm like, yo, change it. And yeah, my story times, I know I keep bringing it back to the story times, but there are a lot of simps. There are a lot of simple minded men that get themselves in these dangerous situations with women. And then they become angry and hateful, and they start hating on the women because the women are sometimes uncontrollable, or, just treating them like they're a walking ATM or a wallet. And I get that. But just don't be a simp, you know? I'm going to start giving lessons on men. Like, learn how, and I also wrote that book called How to Understand the Heart of a Dominican Woman, but that was about good Dominican women. But I think I should write a simp guide. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm putting it out there right now, guys. So if another vlogger writes it, just know it came from me first. I don't know any other vloggers that are writing books all the time anyway. But I would just say that's what I'm going to write, the simp guide. Stop being a simp. All these story times are mostly about simps. They are so... I have this guy. Here's a little side story. Here. This guy rents a villa from me. Well, from one of the landlords. So he contacts me and he says he wants a villa, but he only has a budget of $1,800, right? This villa, he wants to have a private pool. He wants to have a private pool. He wants it to be near everything. He wants it like walking distance to the beach, all this stuff. So that means he's not going to get anything in a private, like you know, I don't want to mention any names of resort, like communities. So anyway, he's going to get a villa, but it's not going to be in like one of the most popular communities here. So I get him a villa, 4 bedrooms, private pool, fully furnished. All he has to do is to put it on Airbnb, is come and put a whole bunch of brand new sheets and a whole bunch of brand new towels. It had sheets on the table, I mean on the beds, and it had towels, but like for under $2,000 a month, and you can put it on Airbnb, nobody's going to put in brand new linen, sheets and all this great Egyptian thread count and these cotton towels. Like this is not going to happen. You gotta fix it up yourself. And so he's willing to do that. Classy dude, classy brother, and he's smart. And I told him, I was like, listen, this is how you're gonna do it, okay? You're just gonna, you can send the stuff down and I'll give the stuff to the landlord, and the landlord will go fix it up for you. The landlord had no problem doing that. He's like, no, don't worry, I got a girl down there. Oh gosh. Right away I'm like, okay, I already know to leave him alone. I got a girl down there. That already just he didn't tell me it was his girlfriend though. Hold on. And oh, hold on. That tea has been seeping all day. This is water. I don't drink alcohol from home. So anyway, in case you guys are wondering. So yeah, he told me he has a girl down here. And I'm like, okay, so then it's, oh, no, back up. He said he has a friend down here, So obviously right away, I knew it was a female. Fast forward a little bit, he starts sending me all these silly little questions. Real silly little questions. Like, I don't even off the top of my head know right now. Just really silly questions. And then he started to sound like a simp. So me being curious, I had to ask him, is this person that you have down here, this friend down here, your girlfriend? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, she's Dominican? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Where does she live? Puerto Plata. Have you seen where she lives before? Yeah. Okay. Does she have running hot water? Like, does she have the zinc roof, or does she literally have cement roofs? And he's like, well, she lives with her mom, and it's your regular old-fashioned Dominican style home. I'm like, then why are you allowing her to run you and dictate to you what needs to happen at that villa, and you're not even here? And he's like, well, I just thought maybe and I don't think with her in your mind. Ask me, and I'll set everything up for you and make sure that she follows behind you. You're the one with the money. You're the one with the insight. Don't think that she has your back. She has her back. And that's it, Jack. That is it. She's never even had her own little place before with a cement roof. And I'm not saying she deserves less just because of that at all, because I'm really happy that she can stay in that villa and help them take care of it. But she shouldn't be running things, Don't have her running things. Sometimes people that are new money are dangerous for themselves. He has money. She met him and he's sending her money left and right. And then he says to me, is it okay if I send the rent to you, Cerise, and you go pay it to the landlord? No. Homie, don't play that any longer. I'll do that with some people. But no, you got a woman involved, she'll go pick the money up. Why aren't you getting her to pick it up? Because she'll spend it and it's not going to get to the landlord. No, that's your woman. She's running everything from behind the scenes. When it comes to rent day, you want me to go stand in the Western Union lineup? on rent day, on day one, when all those Western Union poppies are sending money for all those women, and the lineups are long and the money runs out, and then I have to go back. I'm an early bird. I'm an early riser. I like to get to the Western Union for 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and like even earlier if I can. When I wake up, I have my routine, my morning routine, do my floors and stuff like that. So by the time I'm like showered and ready to go, it's like 10 o'clock, and I'd like to get there at that time. But on the first of the month, it is crowded right up until noon. And then one of the operators, there's sometimes two operators, sometimes just one if you get the one by Texaco, and they take lunch. And then they take lunch for an hour, hour and a half. And then the money runs out. And then you have to go back at like 4 o'clock. I don't want to be out and about in the heat all day long getting money for someone, and all he's doing is paying for my motoconcho, my motorcycle taxi, as I won't take money to go stand in the lineup. So what I'll do is I'll say, sometimes what I used to do is I'll be like, yeah, I'll go get it for you, if he's not dealing with a woman, because he's not a simp. Hold on. My cat is such a fierce. She's chasing a tomcat away. I told you earlier, right? She doesn't let any rats up here, any cats up here, no lizards, no cockroaches. She's just fierce. Besos is her name. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to go stand in the lineup. And I used to do that. But when there's a woman involved and the guy is a simp and he can't even send his own rent money to his own woman, I'm like, dude, please, I am not your cushion at all. I am not the person that you're going to bounce off to save you when you need to send money. Let your girl take all your money and do everything until you girl backbone. That's it. And that's what I learned. A lot of these men, they allow these women to run them. They allow these women to control them, and the women are like, you got to do this and you got to do that, and it's like, what? No way. And you can't be doing that, because a Dominican woman wouldn't be doing that to a Dominican man. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. And so a lot of these men, they're like, okay baby, because they got themselves a beautiful woman that seems like she has his back. No, it's supposed to be a partnership. Get yourself a beautiful Dominican woman that is looking out for you, but not controlling the situation, because she's going to get you in situations where people are not respecting you. I don't respect you. The landlord doesn't respect you. Whoever you're doing business with doesn't respect you. They just see that you are being used up. And that's that. And so, yeah, some of those men, many of them probably that got detained last night in the casino, are probably susceptible to those women like that. Probably many of them are simps. But it still doesn't mean they need to get draped up and patted down and detained for an hour while they're on vacation. But yeah, some regulations do need to happen. We do have tourist police here, but they don't run people's lives, So it is what it is. And I do believe there's going to be some changes, and I do believe that Sosua will transform, but the women will never leave, and the men will never stop coming for them. This is a country with beautiful people inside and out. How are you going to get men around the world that love women to stop coming? Even gay men come here for the beautiful men. There's beautiful men here. Beautiful. And so even gay guys come here for gay men. Even lesbians come here for lesbian women. It's not a big thing. It's not a huge tourist attraction. The biggest tourist attraction is men coming here for women, right? But that will never ever stop. That will never ever go away. And that's human nature. That's animal nature. Animal nature. These tomcats come up here. They try to get up here on my balcony for my female cat. And because she's a female, they come from far and wide. I don't know where they're coming from, but they come. Orange ones, white ones, tabby ones. Some of them are so cute. And my cat looks at them and chases them away. She's fixed. But she protects us, and men always will chase the women. But you got to be smart, man, because sometimes it's the men that are ruining it. They're letting these women control. They're letting these women, um, you know, make them look like fools. And this is where we really have to look at it. And there's got to be, it's a two-edged sword. Like I said, there's got to be some type of change, but it can't be going into casinos and roughing up tourists. What's that all about? How you gonna bite the hand that feeds you? How you gonna go rough up tourists? What were those tourists doing? What were they doing? Seriously, seriously, gambling? Probably a large portion of them no. They were in the disco part of the casino. And they're partying in the casino, listening to some good music, drinking some good drinks, smoking some cigars. They're not doing coke off the table. They're not, bunning Bob Marley and bunning spliffs. They know it's illegal. I don't know what they're doing in the comfort of their own Airbnb or their own villa or wherever they are, but they're not doing that inside the casino. They're there for the women. They're there for the drinks. They're there for the music. They're there for the friendship, the camaraderie. That's all that is going on there. So if by any chance any politician sees this, I don't want you to think that I'm promoting the women. I'm not. And I'm also not putting down the simps. I'm not putting down the men either. I'm just saying that there's got to be a better way. You got to come correct, You can't be scaring tourists and putting them in fear and telling them that they shouldn't come here for the women when you have some of the most beautiful women here in the world, And the women, most of them treat the guys really nice. When you can get yourself a real good Dominican woman, she's probably one of the best women you will ever find around the world. She cleans, and she loves cleaning. She loves cleaning, She loves a good smelling home. She gets some fabuloso. She loves doing the laundry. She takes pride. In the Bible, it says a virtuous woman is a woman that you need to get. And what is a virtuous woman? In the Proverbs, I don't know if it's Proverb 20 something, but it is in the Proverbs 20 something. Maybe Proverb 28, a virtuous woman. And this is a woman that wakes up early in the morning. She prepares her flaxseed and linen. She prepares the food. She takes good care of her man. That's these women. That's these women here. I've never met a Canadian woman in my life that can match that Bible description. And this is the only country in the world that actually has a Bible on the flag in the middle. That book that's on the flag is a Bible. And, that's these women. I see them. They take good care of their kids with the little they have, some of them. It's awesome. And the women that do have a lot, whoa, it's so classy. If you look at a Dominican woman with money and she has a good job and education, she's never going to look like trash. That never look like trash. She's going to have on a nice pair of shoes, some good jewelry, some fresh, crisp iron clothing, her ironed clothing. Her hair is going to look good. Her makeup is going to be pristine. Her teeth are on point. Yeah, speaking about teeth, I'm going to tell you guys why I still have these braces on in a minute. But she is amazing. And she's also very good to her man in public. It's like she's very proper to her man. She's not calling her man out of his name. She's not trying to act like, she's better than her man. She's good to the kids. She's good to the guests. She's good to her husband's friends. She will give before she takes. These are virtuous women here. Virtuous women. So I understand why The Dominican Republic doesn't want those women being front and center that are on Pedro Clasante, because they don't represent the Dominican Republic. And when I wrote my book on a good Dominican woman, how to win the heart of a Dominican woman, I got so much flack on that on Facebook, on these Facebook groups. How many men came out laughing? All of these old, washed up, alcoholic, cigarette smoking, yellow fingers, can't even hardly write or read, and they're like, money. She just wants money. And it's like, well, what women are you meeting? Especially when you lived here for 20 years. You're so tanned, your skin looks like leather. What investments are you even putting into the Dominican Republic? You know? You are literally living in a $200 a month little apartment, and the girls don't want you because you don't have anything. And that's why you're saying, money. She just wants money, because you don't have any to give to her. That's why you're saying that, you know? And so on Facebook, when I wrote that book, I took so much flack. I put it on all the groups. I'm a part of almost every group on Facebook. And I put it out, how to win the heart of a Dominican woman, because I'm really proud of these Dominican women. Like I said, they're virtuous women, man. You know, you get yourself a real good one and you know it. That's why a lot of men get confused, because the ones that are using them are even beautiful, and they're using the man just doesn't know it. Like he might not even be a foolish man or a simp in his own country. He may be a player in his own country, and then he gets here and he becomes a simp because of the women and their behavior. They're so amazing, you know. So yeah, man, I mean, that book, I wrote it with really good intentions, and when I came up with the idea of it, it was my turn to give back to the ladies here, because the ladies even taught me things. And when I told my son I was writing it, I left my son a voice note, and I cried in the voice note. I was like, oh sweetheart, I have a new book idea, The Heart of a Dominican Woman, you know. And I wrote that book from my heart, and my son was so proud of me. And you know, finally I published it, and then I put it all over Facebook, and man, it was just whatever. The men were just horrible. And I'm like, well, this is a lot of simps. These are a lot of hurt people. And then I realized that I need to remarket the book. But in that book, I have like 30 story times at the back of the book. I have recipes in that book. And in that book, I'm telling men how to understand the heart of those good Dominican women. But now I realize I need to write a different book. You know, how not to be a simp. That is the book that I should have written. That is what I should have called that book. As a matter of fact, that's what I should do, not rewrite another book, because this book is literally a guide on how to understand a woman and get a good Dominican woman. So maybe that's what I'll do. That's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm just going to change the title of the book and the cover of the book. And I'm just going to call it How to Get Yourself, How Not to Be a Simp. And I'm just so sensitive today, you know, just really, really sensitive. I thank you guys all for being here with me and listening to my rant. And yes, Jay, they were doing roundups. Let me see. I love the DR. A lot of people only know Sosua, but Puerto Plata is great. Santiago is awesome, quiet, but a lot to do. Santo Domingo is a big city like NYC, a little bit, lots of history. That's true. CME hustle. This is my last trip. Oh no, you're gonna go. Well, Taylor Made Dreams went to Thailand, and he's loving it. Okay, guys. Stray Python. Hey, Stray Python, how you doing? Thanks for the information. You're welcome. Tone Polo. So Travel Solo. What's going on? The sweep of tourists. Yeah, they went to the casino. For those of you who are just tuning in, they went to the casino and they detained people for an hour. Okay, guys, there's a lot of messages here, and drunken joystick. So Sua, hey, how you doing, Clay? God does not run a dating service. No, not at all. Um, let's find her a man. Who, me? Let me see. How many people living in dangerous countries and cities worry if DR is safe? Okay, these are some really good comments here, guys. And no name says YouTubers are to blame. I don't know about that. There's no blame. No name, you sound like you're a little bit negative there. You know? Okay, I'm going to update right now. Awilda. Hey, Awilda. Definitely not the best way to do it. Yeah. Hold on, guys. There's a lot of great comments here, but my battery is about to run out, so just give me a second. I'm gonna go and get my my charger. Hold on. I don't know if this is charged, my extra storage charger. Yes, it's good. All right, we're good. All right, for those of you just tuning in and you want to know what's going on, last night at around 1:30 in the morning, as tourists from all around the world were enjoying their vacation, and expats too probably, were enjoying their vacation or their life at the casino, disco, and just relaxing, having some drinks, dancing, meeting women, enjoying life, were detained for an hour. Some were patted down. And obviously some were probably arrested too, because you know some of the people there had probably a little bit of Bob Marley on them, you know. But I doubt they had guns and knives and all that stuff, you know what I mean? So anyway, most of them were detained and let go of after an hour. It was a big sweep. There was like 19 trucks, like going up Pedro Clasante. And yeah, the targets were the women and the tourist men. And I think that, you know, is unnecessary. I think you don't terrify people when they're on vacation. That's scary. You know, especially people that are coming to your country to spend money, especially people that may have intentions to bring even more money to the country in the future. How many people come here on a little simple vacation and end up bringing so many other people? Like myself, I just came on a vacation and I get here and I'm like, wow, I turned my whole entire, this YouTube channel, I turned this whole entire YouTube channel to just about the Dominican Republic. Getting apartments for people, helping people to, you know, understand about the property, making a lot of networking connections, and all because I love the country. And I love the people who want to come here and visit. And I love the people who already live here, you know, the Dominicans and the Haitians alike. You know, so you never know who you're going to attract here. And I mean, there's people that come from all walks of life, politicians, you know, famous people. They come, and of course they don't walk the streets of Pedro Clasante, but they come here and they have their fun as well. And I think going into a casino, which is also doubles as a disco, 1:30 in the morning. That's not the type of place that tourists want to visit. That's not the type of place that tourists want to be. Tourists want to feel safe, and that is in a tourist area, you know. Tourists want to come here and know that they are respected and loved and honored for the money that they are putting in to stimulate the economy. And they want to feel like they are respected in a way where they're not going to be at harm by the own police force here, the military police force. What was all that about? And again, I don't go out to the disco. I don't go out to the nightclubs. I stay home a lot of the time. I go out to the bars and I have a few drinks a couple of days a week. I go outside a couple of days a week, but I'm not on Pedro Clasante all the time like how I used to be. And I don't, I don't go to the discos. But if I was younger, or, like if I was younger and in my dancing days, like how I used to be and all that, of course I'd be all up at the disco every night too. I would love going to the disco all the time, but I'm just not in that era of my life any longer. But the guys that come here and they are going to the disco with their friends and stuff, I think it's awesome. Go to the disco, go to the casino, go have fun, go have drinks, enjoy life. So that's what's going on right now. Excuse me. And I just hope it never happens again. Like, because I know a lot of vloggers are going to be upset about it as well. Like, Polimo 365. I wonder why she never talks about the raids that are on against the Haitians in Sosua now. Instead, she's talking about some crap about the shoes she wears. Laugh out loud. Well, let me tell you something. I don't talk about a lot of things that I see. But if I start talking about the Haitians where I live and I start talking, they will come right here in this squatter's house next to me where Haitians come constantly, and all of us in my area are quiet about it, Dominicans alike. We don't want people coming here and targeting them. If I start talking about what I see all the time, trust me, it brings a lot of light to stuff that doesn't need to be brought light to. I help Haitians constantly. I help Dominicans too. When Haitians cannot leave their apartments, they can't walk down the street to go to the grocery store, and they can't go out to make money for food, I offer them some things. Sometimes this one guy, he comes and he cleans my house. I clean my own house every morning. I do my own floors, but I'll pay him. There's kids next door, and I constantly clean out my fridge, my cupboards. When I hear the kids, there's an influx of kids that come. Sometimes they come for 2 weeks and you don't hear them again. I don't hear them right now, but for about a month straight, I did hear them. Little babies crying. You hear them. Sometimes they're crying and I don't know if they're hungry. Is it for me to go on YouTube and start talking about that? And talk to YouTube about what I do for people? No, it's not. And the Bible says, don't tell your left hand what your right hand's doing, and don't brag to people what you do for others. So the raids, most of them for years were females, and they were prostitutes. Then they were men. And earlier on this feed, I was talking about that. How it feels to see when a man works all week to go do construction jobs where he's not even tied off at the roof, and he's wearing flip-flops, and he has no goggles on and no hard hat on, wearing shorts, sweating in the sun, not even any water. He works all week. He can't go to work on his own because he'll get picked up on his way to work. He can't go to work. He can't go home after. The employer has to pick him up and drop him off. And on Thursdays is the days that he for sure can't even go outside, even though he just got his paycheck. Thursdays are paydays. And for sure he can't go outside and go do his grocery shopping. But he's not illegal. He's not doing criminal things. He's literally trying to work, and he's getting a fraction of what his work is worth. So no, there are no riots here. There are raids, and the raids are not in these homes in here. You understand? Because people like myself understand that when you are a little quiet about it and you just keep the peace, you're not bringing light to where they actually are. So don't laugh out loud on my feed and try to come at me and try to pick a speck out of my eye when you probably have a log in yours, brother. Don't even go there with me. My heart is in the right place, and I don't need to make every single one of my videos about what I am seeing. That's not my style at all. I'm not going to complain about the women. I'm not going to complain about the tourists. I'm not going to complain about anybody that lives next door and is squatting. You may hear them talking right now. The rats are as big as my cat. You understand? That is downstairs right there. They have absolutely no windows. The structures in their home are a little bit of mortar. It's not like this. They have holes in between the bricks. Cockroaches this big get into their places. When it rains, it floods. But it's not for me to start putting down how it's being handled here, because it will just perpetuate things. When you start putting down a country for the way that they are doing things to a group of people that cannot fight against themselves and have nowhere to go, then all you're doing is perpetuating the problem, because what you're doing is you are putting blame on the country, and that angers people. This is a different situation, and I'm allowed to talk about what shoes I want to wear. Who are you? I'm explaining my life here, not anyone else's. So let's rewind, selector, and let's back up a little bit before you come onto the feed and you start trying to say what I talk about and what I don't talk about. I purposely keep quiet about the Haitian situation. Purposely. Because when vloggers start fighting and talking up that way, they anger the politics from inside, and people start behaving differently. You understand? When there was a flood in Maranata, I quietly went on Facebook. And I told people, if you would like to put a little bit of money in, let me know. These people have no bed to sleep in. The flood started 8 o'clock at night, and the water was still rising the next morning. That means they did not sleep. It was up to their windows, past their windows. That means all of their devices, all of their plugs, all of their fridges, all of their stoves, all of their beds, all of their belongings floating out in the street. And I didn't go on YouTube and make a video asking people for money. I made a video, 2 of them, 3 of them, showing what was going on, just so they can see and they can help their friends. But I went on Facebook and I just asked people, if you guys want to send an email money transfer, Canadians or businesses. Within hours, People were sending email money transfers. People were sending Western Unions. And not only that, businesses on Pedro Clisante like Wings and Waffles, EPS, and Universal Insurance. And there's other businesses, and I'm sorry that I don't remember them right now, but this was a year and a half ago. It was a very emotional moment. They contacted me, Cerise, come pick up some money. And I'm not talking about $10, $15, $100. Cerise, come pick up some money. I passed by there, picked up money. Then I went to the China Tienda, bought a whole bunch of toothpastes, face cloths, water, because they had no running water. And then not only that, people who were on my Facebook page who live here contacted me and said, hey, we're going to bring some mops. We're going to bring some cleaning supplies. We're going to make 100 sandwiches. And we went to the church and handed out everything we could. We cleaned out our closets. We cleaned out our fridges. I made all these little care packages in my bed. I put toothpaste and soap. And see, now I'm talking about what I did, and I don't really want to do that, you know? I don't want to do that. But when I have people like you come on here and you don't know what you're talking about, you need to be quieted down, because your LOL at the end of your sentence isn't funny. This is my reality here. I live here for 7 years. You think I'm not going to do something behind the scenes and try to help? Come on now. I live with the locals. You think I'm just going to watch? You think I need to go onto the YouTube? You think I need to go on and talk about things? No. Not at all. But I will help from the inside out. And I will lift people up when they need something. It is not for me to go onto YouTube and talk where that situation, which is ancient, war, there is something so integral about what goes on here. And when I see in my area the Haitians and the Dominicans hanging together, I'm quiet. Politicians walk up and down these streets. I was in the jewelry store the other day getting my watch fixed, and a politician walked in. And my heart dropped at first. I don't do anything bad here. Nothing bad. I don't do any Bob Marley. I don't do any drugs. I stay with myself. I don't hang around anyone. I have my dogs and my cat. I'm at home making my content, writing my books, talking to my clients. And when I saw that politician walk in the jewelry store and walk towards me, my heart dropped. So I was like, oh. And then I said, hi. You know, like, oh, hey, I know you. I said it in Spanish. The guy's my Facebook friend. I don't know why my heart dropped at first. Was I helping too much? You know, but he only walked close to me, and then he smiled, you know. There was nothing negative. But I could only imagine how the Haitians feel if they're in a similar situation. It's a tough situation here in general. And I don't just sit around and watch. I literally help. So I don't like your comment, and I didn't appreciate it at all. And your little laugh out loud at the end, your little LOL at the end. It's not a laugh. It's a stab. You don't know me. Hey, Salim. How are you, Salim? Anyway, guys. Ross, where you talk about homosexuality, I don't talk about homosexuality. I don't talk about much. Buju Banton said it best, though. A virtuous woman is hard to find, though. Yes, Rich's method. You are 100% right. A virtuous woman is hard to find. But I will tell you something. It's easier to find when you are um, it's easier to find when you are around people that are not entitled, you know? And you see that they have happiness when you give them like a 50 pesos tip, 100 pesos tip. You know, today I had someone message me on my WhatsApp, and when my son was visiting here, he was so good to my son, so good to my son. His name is David, and I do want to call him by his name on here because usually I'm confidential, but it's his birthday today. So give me a moment, guys. I get very passionate, you know. I always say I live where I love and I love where I live, because I do. These people have embraced me. And it's not about Haitian or Dominican, it's about love. And so I get very passionate because, you know, I live in the hood. I would show you guys right now the building that I'm talking about, but I'm scared to because I don't want to expose them. But no human should live like that, and they have to, because otherwise if they go to Haiti, they'll be dead anyway. Anyway, my friend today, I'll call him my friend, but it's his birthday, and he messaged me and he's like, it's my birthday, it's mi cumpleaños today. And I think that's great. So he messaged me from his girlfriend's cell phone, and I didn't get back to him in time enough because I was really busy today. And I'll probably walk over to the area that he likes to hang out in and buy him a little bottle of rum, you know, give him a couple of bucks for his pocket. But this man is so classy. Whenever I go to the Colmado, and again, I don't go out every day, but when I do go out, I do like to go out for a nice cold cerveza and a good conversation. So I sit there, and he brings like a pitcher for me, like not a pitcher, like a little bucket full of water, not water, ice. He brings me ice to keep my beer cold. He brings me lime, because I like lime. And you know, it's just such a form of respect that when it is his birthday like this, I do want to go and, you know, pay homage to him. And I don't want to go outside today after this feed. I don't want to go outside. I really don't. I just want to stay home. But I might go because now I'm remembering, you know. But I can always get him tomorrow as well, or another day. Anyway, I sidetracked, guys. I'm sorry. It's just a real sensitive situation all around. And I really pray for the people here in the Dominican Republic, no matter Dominican or Haitian. And I also don't like to see the tourists be roughed up like that, because without the tourists' comfort, the tourists will go all to the resorts. They will only go to the resorts. And that's not what the people of this country want. You know, they want you to leave the resorts and stimulate the rest of the economy, not just the resorts. The resorts are not owned by the Dominicans. You know, the people who work on the resorts as well, they deserve tips and everything like that. But there's people out in these streets who, they want to work, but they're not getting hired on at the resort because they don't speak English, you know, or they don't have a trade, but they will do almost anything else that they can do for you. And I think that at the end of the day speaks volumes, you know. I really love you guys. Um, um, just kind of want to change the topic right now for those of you who want to come here. Um, oh wait, the Las Vegas sports talk. So what do you do when they run up on you? Anyone know? I don't know if you mean the police, but that's not a common thing that they do here. They will do it to some foreigners, thinking that the foreigners are Haitian. I've heard that before. I've never seen it myself, but I've heard some guys say, like, some police officers tried to rough him up and he showed his passport and they just backed off, right? But last night, what happened, or the early morning, wee hours of this morning, what happened was something I've never heard before. Tourists being pulled aside and detained and patted down for no illegal reason. There was no fight going on. There was nothing. I don't know why that happened. So what would you do? You just show your passport and you make sure that you keep, like, you don't have any drugs on you, and that's pretty much it. And you don't bother anyone, and no one's going to bother you. You mind your business, no one's going to mind your business. You'll be fine. No one's going to go out of their way to take you to the police station at all. That's why I'm so upset about what happened last night. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of scary for anyone that got detained and they were let go of, but still, no one wants to be out enjoying themselves here in a destination that's supposed to be one of the number one destinations in the world, for sure, number one destination in the Caribbean, and that happens to them. It's just so ruthless, and it's very unforgiving, you know. I hope it really doesn't happen again, but usually I keep I keep my mouth closed when it comes to stuff. Yes, Cerise. Oh no, see, yes, correct. The issue is current tourist groups are spreading the wealth and opportunities around, and the politicians and corporations don't like it. Interesting, Stray Python. Fresh produce. Let me see. Okay. Shikadeek and comedy and travel. Hey, oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Drink on me for your birthday, friend. Oh, that's so kind of you. Ah, hold on one second. Take a photo of that so I can show him. Yep, I'm gonna buy him a bottle of rum with your money. So there you go, David. He's a great guy. His brother was killed on the beach. He's a Dominican guy. His brother was stabbed on the beach many years ago. He's just such a nice guy, you know. And he treated my son so lovely when my son was here. And sometimes, like, when I'm like hanging out at the Colmado, just chilling out, he'll call my son on WhatsApp and he'll be like, your mom's here, and he'll show my son, like, my son and I will just, I'll be like, hey honey, you know. My son knows I'm at the Colmado, right? But it's just he loves that he is friends with my son, you know. And my son loves that he looks out for me. He just lives 2 doors over, like, not 2 doors over, but 2 buildings over. His wife is Puerto Rican American. Well, America is Puerto Rican, but his wife is American from Puerto Rico, but lived in America all her life, like in the states, one of the states. So yeah, thank you for that. That was really kind of you. And see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil at Cerise Fairfax. I will be there in 2 weeks. Awesome. I'd love to see you in 2 weeks. Hey, yeah, guys. Okay. Side note from everything else. I've had a few people ask me about dentists and also doctors and everything like that. I want to tell you guys what's going on with my braces, without slamming the dentists, because again, I understand where I live. I had straight teeth. They were white and everything. But I had this one tooth right here that was here in, and I had another tooth that was kind of like receding. So it looked like I had a missing tooth right here, but I didn't. So I was like, I want to go get that rectified, you know? So I went to the dentist, and I went to 4 different dentists, 3 different dentists actually. All 3 of them said I needed braces. And I was like, braces? You know, I'm not going to get braces. Like, that's ridiculous. And they're like, no, you do. You need braces. Like, because not only that, they're like, you can align your teeth with braces. Like, don't just fix one tooth by getting it pulled and getting an implant, because you're going to have to get an implant again in a few years from now. And I was like, man. And I went to the next dentist and the other one and the other one. And all of them said that. And so many people here have braces. And I was like, this is like barbaric. Who's going to get braces on? But then I realized it's not barbaric. It is how it was in the beginning. Braces are not just for kids. So where I went wrong was I went for the cheapest one, because I was like, the cheapest one told me that I only needed the braces for no more than 9 months. The other dentist said maybe a year and a half. And I was like, what? This other one told me 9 months and she's cheaper? That was great for me, the timeline and the price. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went to her, and she was great. She, you know, was great at getting the tooth from the inside right here and bringing it out. And everything's great. There's no space any longer. But the tooth that was in the back, she was bringing it forward too quickly. So the root didn't move with the rest of my tooth. My tooth moved, but the root stayed at the back. And that wasn't good. And she wasn't getting x-rays for me. She wasn't doing anything like that. So finally, I spoke up. I prayed on it and prayed on it. And I was so angry. I started to get angry because I knew something was wrong. And I didn't know, like, you know, so one day, back up a little bit, one day she had a health concern. And she was telling me about this health concern. And I was laying in the chair in her dentist office, and she showed me her health concern on her body. And I thought, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for her. So when she was finished putting the elastics on my brackets, on my braces, I got up, and God told me, pray with her. You know, like as I was in the seat, my spirit said, pray with her, ease her consciousness, pray with her. So when I got up, she doesn't speak any English, and my Spanish is okay, but it is limited to an extent. So I got up and I said, can I pray with you? Nosotros hablamos con Dios. We talk to God, para ti. And she said yes. And so I prayed with her. And she really appreciated that. So at that moment, she knew that I talked to God. She knew that I love God. So then a few months after that, that's when I left her a message, and I said, listen, I talked to God about my teeth, and God told me you don't know what you're doing and you need help. So you get help for me, for my teeth, because I've had these braces on now for a year and a half, not 9 months like you originally said. And she didn't even put the bottom ones on yet. And I only had one little tooth right here. I've had these braces on the bottom for 2 months, and the problem's already rectified. But she was waiting to put the bottom ones on for this problem to be rectified up here. And I was like, you didn't put the bottom braces on yet? Like, what's going on, you know? And she admitted. She's like, yes, I do need help. I need help. I'm going to call in a specialist. So she called in a specialist, and the specialist took over about 2 months ago. And I'm noticing a significant difference. The first day she got me in her seat, she just she glued on all the bottom ones. The bottom ones are silver, and the top ones are ceramic. My top teeth have gone through so many changes. All of them have shifted and moved. Before they were straight, but one thing I didn't know was the line that goes from the top to the bottom was not straight. So my teeth were not aligned. So that's what's happening now. Brand new dentist, but still my same dentist office. So, if there's anything going on, you guys speak up to your dentist, speak up to your doctor, appeal to them and tell them that that there's something not right. I was thinking about leaving that dentist and going to other dentists and starting the treatment again, starting all over. And that's what a lot of foreigners do here. They get tired of the care that they're getting, so they go to another doctor and another dentist, and they give up. But I would suggest that you stick with the person you're with and tell them that they need help and can they bring in a specialist. That's my advice there, since a lot of you guys are asking for dentist and doctor work. Anyway, guys, I totally went off. And that's about it. I don't want to put my glasses on. Well, Chiquita, yeah, let me see what this says. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I see all you guys are on here. Thank you so much for chilling with me for the last 3 hours. I appreciate you, and blessings to you guys. If any of you guys are struggling right now with health, if any of you guys are struggling right now in relationships, in your marriage, in your work, your home, anything that is boggling down your mind, hurting you, making you feel like you don't want to go on, or making you feel like you don't know how to go on, I'm praying for you. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you good energy. And I just want you to know that this too shall pass. As cliche as that sounds, there is a plan for everything, and everything does eventually pass. You have to have faith, and sometimes you got to help yourself as well. Find a solution. It's always out there. A couple more messages came in. Jason, I appreciate you. Lisette, hi, thank you for all that you do. Oh, thank you. I would like to someday meet you. My hubby and I will be in Sosua August 9th. August 9th is just around the corner. Wow. Yes, if our schedules align, I would love to meet up with you. I don't really meet up with anyone any longer because I had to, Jay, you have to catch the replay. Thank you. Because I was out meeting so many people all the time, and just drinking and gaining weight and not taking care of myself, and feeling like wasn't getting everything done that I like to get done. So I took control and started to pay more attention to just being with myself and centering again the way I used to in Toronto. And it was a good run. I had a great run here the first few years in Sosua. I found myself, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Meeting a lot of people too. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful going out to so many different events and networking and putting different people together, and a lot of people benefited from that as well. But I'm at a point now where I don't know what my next move is going to be. I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought about it many times recently. Like, do I want to go somewhere? And, I know for sure I love where I'm at right now. I took the bus the other day to Plata to go to the spa in Puerto Plata, and I loved it. I loved getting on the bus. It was so empowering. The bus was great. I don't mean the local bus. I mean like the Caribbean tours, brand new buses, brand new seats. It was like a coach bus, air conditioned. It was just so beautiful to just get and travel. And even though it was only 20 minutes from here to Puerto Plata to the spa, it gave me that travel bug for a moment. I was so thrilled the whole entire day, and I was like, man, I need to go travel somewhere. But a part of me um, secluding myself and not going out as much, I also lost connection with a lot of people. I don't hang around people any longer. I don't have the, well, the drinking friends that I used to have. I don't have that group of girls any longer. And so I don't have anyone to go and do things with. And so I'm just thinking that maybe I'm going to start planning some trips and just put them out, and whoever wants to come with me can come, like a day trip to Santo Domingo uh, or something, because it's always nice just to do something like that. And maybe that's the phase I'm at. I'm not really ready to go move to another country. I know I don't want to go back to Canada. I learned the language here. I love speaking Spanish. I love the Dominicans. I love just being around everyone, the Haitians, the Dominicans, the foreigners. I'm not ready to leave. I don't think I could see myself even taking a flight right now. But I gotta, stimulate myself a little bit. I work a lot on YouTube. I have all these YouTube videos, channels that I work on. I have a crime channel. I have an entertainment channel. I have this channel. I have a spiritual channel. I have a Black Excellence channel. It's called Innocent Stolen. So I do a lot of work online, and I'm happy with that. But I would like to do something else, not something that's going to distract me too much either, because I really do love staying at home and I love my peace of mind. But I'm looking for something. So if you guys, if you guys do trips and tours and anything like that, let me know, because I might want to come on a tour of yours and just come by myself, and meet people on your tour that's not just sitting around the bar drinking. And something fun and exciting, and go shop and do something maybe, in Santo Domingo, Santiago, and go do something different. I would really love to do that, meet new people. So invite me out, and I will promote your tours. I will, do a whole entire video on it. I just need some change, and I need to meet some people that are not drinking in the bars all the time on Pedro Clasante. And don't get me wrong, you'll see me on Pedro Clasante having a few drinks. Probably, I don't know, when am I going out there again? On not this Tuesday coming up, but the next Tuesday, because I'm going to get my braces adjusted. So I'll be on Pedro Clasante that day. And I'll go most likely to a bar after I get my braces adjusted and go grab a bite to eat, because Noche always loves when I bring her home food, and have a couple of drinks. And then once I start having a couple of drinks, I start seeing people and I start talking to whoever is out there, everyone. That's always it's always an adventure. As soon as my feet hit road, it is an adventure. As soon as I leave my apartment, I never know who I'm going to see. I never know what's going to happen. And I never know when I'm going to be back in the apartment. I go out 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and sometimes I'm not home till 11 o'clock at night, and my gosh, so it's always a fun thing that's happening. But again, if you have anything that you're doing, any event, invite me. And I'm a lone ranger. I travel alone. I came to this island alone, so I travel alone. I don't need to bring a whole entourage with me. As a matter of fact, I prefer not to. Um, I can't control how other people behave. So if you're having an event and it's something that you do all the time, or it's just something that you want to start doing, let me know. I'll show up with my camera and well, my cell phone, and I'll take a video and I'll interview you. And yeah, if you're a new expat here, and you just want to chill out and it's not on Pedro Clisante getting drunk, and it's like just going somewhere and having nice drinks or a nice meal, let me know. I can also, if you're not too shy, I can also interview you, something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Um, Go to Las Terrenas. I know. Let me see what you said here, Rich. Let me see. Cerise, how are you? Hi, Rohawk. Rich's method. There you go. I said it. What did you say, Rich? Cerise, you could have taken Carlito to Puerto Plata. Also, take a trip to Santo Domingo and just reset the vibe. Yes. Yeah. Let me see what you said here. Go to Las Terrenas. Last. Um, More boring than Sosua for someone who lives in the DR. Looks beautiful though. Okay. Facts. Travel alone. Yes. The Las Vegas sports talk. I love traveling alone. And Rich's method. Yeah, I wanted to go to Las Terrenas a few times too. And I probably would have. The only thing is getting my dog and like my cat, she's fine. I have video cameras like all in my apartment and all outside. I can keep my eye on her. She has her kitty litter box. I can just keep her food in the apartment and lock it up for a couple of days, and my cat will be fine. But Noche, I have to bring her with me. And now that I have this new little puppy, like literally little puppy, that I didn't want, but I was outside and someone handed her to me. She had a little bit of mange. I'm gonna grab her. Hold on. Look at her paws. They told me she's a Chihuahua, but look at those paws. She's clearly mixed. Her ears are starting to come up. Hi, baby. Her ears are starting to come up. So this is her full body. When I first got her, she had mange all right here. So and she was too small when I first got her. She wasn't even 3 pounds. And so you have to be 4 pounds to get the neck guard, like the flea and tick stuff. She was scratching. She had mange. But the smartest little girl, and I named her Loose for light, because she's just a spark of light. Come here, honey. Show everyone those paws in that face. Show everyone. Okay. Hold on. There we go. Show everyone Loose. Hi, Loose. Noche wants to come up. Okay, Noche, you want to come up and say hi to everybody? Come on, Noche. Arriba. Come on. There we go. She just went to the groomer the other day. Look at her, the smile. She has these little puff. Oh, hold on. There we go. There's a good view. Yes. Okay, guys, hold on. Once Noche's up, she doesn't want to get down. So Noche I had ever since she was a baby. She's now 6.5 years old. I got her when I was here for 6 months. Okay, come on. And you have to stay still. Loose. Tranquila. I'm still toilet training this girl. So it's she wakes up. Oh gosh, don't bite. She wakes up like 3 o'clock in the morning for a pee. And she's just a little chihuahua, so she can't hold her pee, So she goes. So I wake up, I take her out. 3 o'clock in the morning. And then, well, I let her go out. She goes pee and she comes right back in. And then, that's about it. She goes back out at 5 o'clock in the morning. But, it's not so bad. I mean, it's better than her being in the streets and full of mange and bugs and stuff like that. And I definitely did not want another dog. But sometimes, the little gifts are handed to you in life and when you least expect it. Right? Yes. Oh, gosh. Her teeth are so sharp. That's why I don't kiss her the way I kiss Noach. She'll just bite my whole nose off. Watch you. Her ears are starting to come up. As you can see, they were just flat before. She loves Noche. She loves Basils. It's a nice little existence. But because these guys, I can't do a lot of traveling. I don't have anyone to come and babysit. And I don't really want anyone in my apartment when I'm not here. I heard that I can take my dogs to like Judy's where Noche gets shaved. And I think it's $20 a night or $25 a night or $30 a night or something for each one, which is not bad. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think just like for maybe about 4 days and maybe 3 days. So Rich, maybe I will go to Las Terrenas and, just take my girls to the groomers, I forget what it's called, doggy daycare. Cerise, take care in the DR. I'm going to, oh, thank you. I'm going to go now. I wish you peace, keep your joy. It's hard to sustain that there. Oh, thank you. So your ability to do so is so special. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Rich's method. You're awesome. Our goodie is here. Hey, Cerise, how are you? How have you been? I pray all is well. Thank you, our goodie. Good to hear from you. Hey, Marcus, how you doing? Let me see. Sunday in Santo Domingo's Chinatown is very nice. That's a good idea, Tony. Hello, I've been watching your videos. Very informative, good and helpful. Thank you, Marcus. I go to Santiago and Santo Domingo every week. Oh, really, Tony? That's awesome. And where do you live? I'm back watching this live. Very great live, Miss Fairfax. Thank you, Apartment R. And yeah, so guys, I guess you can start looking for me to talk about more travels. But I'm going to let you guys go now too. Eventually I'll start traveling more. But yeah, I just got to get up and get out. Start meeting new people that are wanting to also, just kind of go have a really nice little, meal and take some photos, take some videos, chit chat, but good conversation and not putting other people down, not talking about how people are doing things wrong. And, it's tough, but it is what it is. I love you guys. God bless you all. Thank you for staying with me and chit-chatting. If you have any questions about the Dominican Republic, please feel free to reach out to me on WhatsApp. Just leave me a little voice note. I'm always accessible to everyone. Sometimes I don't get back right away. Maybe a 24-hour, may take me about 24 hours, like I'm really, really busy. But if you're looking for an apartment, anything like that, just hit me up. If I can't help you, I know somebody that can for sure. All right, guys. I'm going to go boil up some liver for these 3 girls. And I have 2 dogs and a cat, but they're all girls. And I'm going to make a nice little salad for myself. And I want you guys to really enjoy your day today. Again, I hope this never happens in the Dominican Republic, much less Sosua, a tourist town, where they drape people up 1:30 in the morning at a casino and pull people out, detain them and pat them down. I really pray that never happens again, because it really does leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth at the end of the day, internationally speaking and also nationally speaking. I understand that they are trying to, regulate things, but that's not the way to go about it. So hopefully they understand that. And if by chance any of you guys who are, you know, trying to regulate, if you're a politician or a police officer and you think that I am trying to condemn you, I'm not. I'm not condemning you at all. It's just I don't think that's a logical way of going about something. It can't be. You can't be putting the fear in people that are doing no wrong. They're coming here, okay, pay to play. The women are beautiful, but is that so wrong? You know, what else are they doing? You know, are they bringing guns in your country? Are they, I mean, the majority of the tourists coming here are only coming for some good rum, some good food, some good women, and some good cigars. And they should feel comfortable doing that as they are stimulating the economy. All right, guys, enough of my ranting. I love you. Let me see. I okay, just a couple more, just a couple more messages, guys. Oh, you live in Puerto Plata, Tony. Okay. And Roland, I've missed you. See you soon, my friend. A friend. Okay, see you too, Roland. And Oreo, love and peace to you, Cerise from Ontario, Canada. Awesome. And Vincent says, I love you. I love you too. Thank you, you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. And remember, tomorrow is not promised. So make the best of today. Get those things done. Stop procrastinating. Love you. Mwah.